Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Here's the first pitch. Hot shot. High fly ball. Deep right field. And this one is gone. A moon shot by Patrick Sullivan. And a hanging ball over the plate skies this one deep to right field. A 3-run homer in his debut, Patrick Sullivan.
And now we'll take you to the birthplace of baseball, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and Paul Dowd at historic Wacona Park.
Long hold, exhales, the 0-2. Hot shot, past the diving second baseman Ricciardi. Another RBI single. They're going to round the next runner, and there will be no throw. A 2 RBI single by Brian Mcneil, and the game has been flipped for the momentum, and now the Suns lead it by a score of 5-2.
And now, here are your hosts for Pittsfield Suns Baseball, Billy Madewell, Steve O'Brien, and Colin Quinn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to beautiful Paul Dowd Field at historic Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, as the Pittsfield Suns get ready to take FCBL action against the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here on a windy one. My name is Billy Madewell. Alongside me, as always, my broadcast partners, Steve O'Brien Jr. and Colin Quinn. Guys, 2 back-to-back wins via the Home Run Derby, no less.
It was pretty fun to watch. I got a chance, and I know Colin did as well, to tune in to the North Shore Navigators live stream. Big thanks to them for putting that up on Facebook. It was really a fun thing to watch. Taylor Beckett, he of 2 for 24 on the season, nearly half of his at-bats ended in strikeouts, launched 5 homers in the Derby to propel Pittsfield to a win. Very fun to watch. They've got a 3-game win streak going right now. I'll have more for that on you later.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fun game to watch, but it wouldn't have been possible without the home run from the birthday boy himself in the top of the 9th inning for the Pittsfield Suns, Caden Trinkle, to get the job done in the top of the 9th. A solo shot that put the Pittsfield Suns tied 5-5, and then shutting the door in the bottom of the 9th, and then getting no runs in the 10th were both teams. But these Pittsfield Suns, they've shown that they can hit some home runs when they need to. They're 2-1 now in the home run derby this season. And, well, we'll see what we have here tonight.
Well, in order for them to lose in a home run derby, there has to be one thing, and that's me not watching or being here. So we'll certainly figure all that out.
You must be the curse. Who knows?
Well, the blessing, rather. Now, while we have some quick time here on the Pittsfield Suns pregame show, we're going to go with a quick trip around the FCBL, give you all the action, what's happening around the league.
Taking a look at some FCBL, that's not right. FCBL action from yesterday. Westfield and Nashua had a double header. Westfield won the first game 2-0. Chase Jeter pitching 6 innings strong for the Starfires, scattering 5 hits, striking out 7 and allowing no runs. In game 2, Westfield took that game as well, sweeping the doubleheader. They won that second game 9-1. It was 1-1 until the 6th inning when Westfield put up 8 runs. Christian Waltz had a grand slam and 5 RBI in the game. Meanwhile, Pat Gallagher went the distance. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts. It was 777s for the Westfield starter. He got the win in the complete game. Worcester beat Bristol 9-6. Brandon Miller had a home run. He went 4 for 4 for the Blues. Jacob Sessa went 3 for 4 with 3 RBI for the Worcester Bravehearts. Bristol's 7-game win streak stopped there as Worcester again takes the 9-6 victory. Pittsfield and North Shore, of course, the game of the night that we want to talk about. Pittsfield ends up winning that by a final of 6-5, winning the home run derby 6-4. There were a combined 32 strikeouts in the game, 17 for Pittsfield, 15 for North Shore. Sean Lawler had a home run for the Navs. Meanwhile, Jackson Peterson had his league-leading 20th RBI of the season. Caden Trinkle, the birthday boy, as we mentioned earlier, tied the game with a solo home run in the 9th inning. In the Derby, Jackson Peterson, who carried the team the other night, struggled a little bit. He hit only 1 homer, but Taylor Beckett stepped in and launched 5 on what seemed like about 7 pitches. He was electric and ended up leading the Suns to victory in the Derby. That was last night's action. Taking a look at today's games, Bristol at North Shore. Brockton at Westfield and Worcester at Pittsfield, all set to start right about now. So no score yet in any of those, but we'll have that as the game continues. Finally, a look at the standings. Pittsfield leads the FCBL. They're 15-9. They've won 3 straight. Brockton is 14-11. They're a game and a half back. North Shore 13-11. They're 2 back and are 3-7 in their last 10. Bristol has their win streak snapped at 7. They're 12-11, 2.5 back. Worcester has been a middle of the road team pretty much all year, and their record reflects it. They're 12-12 and even 500. 3 games back. Nashua, after that big win streak, has kind of tailed off a little bit. They're 12-14. They're 4 back, and they're 4-6 in their last 10. And Westfield has won 2 in a row, but they are still 8-18. That's a .308 winning percentage. That's your look around the FC. Yeah.
And also, while we have a quick minute, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have an exclusive interview with hitting coach for the Pittsfield Suns, Chris Barberata. You're listening to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're even famous entertainers. They're teachers.
Okay, class, settle down. Open your book.
They're scientists and astronauts. They're hams. They're 650,000 strong, and they're just like you. Earning your amateur radio license is easy. Just contact the American Radio Relay League at 1-800-326-3942.
Welcome back to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Now standing in with hitting coach for the Pittsfield Suns, Chris Barberata. Chris, how's it going today?
It's going well, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely glad to have you here, especially it seems weird going this far in the season. We haven't had you on the show thus far. You've been really ducking me up there in the booth.
Yeah, I've just been kind of busy.
Yeah, well, kind of is an understatement, especially with the Pittsfield Suns in first place in the latest part of the season, which is the latest in the season that the Pittsfield Suns have ever been in first place, and they still don't have double-digit losses. You look at overall for the Suns, what really is the main difference between this team and teams past?
I don't want to sound mean, but I feel like this is the most talented team we've ever had, top to bottom, from hitters to pitchers. And on top of it, another year of experience for Getty and Sheik, knowing the league, knowing what's expected, just kind of coming together.
Now, we're going to fill that in just in case if everyone's listening, if you don't believe it. Here's a good stat line here for you. 3rd in the league in team hitting, 1st in home runs, 1st in ERA, 1st in fielding percentage. Plus, you have half of the roster as underclassmen, half of the roster in upperclassmen, with majority going into their junior seasons. Do you feel that the experience all around, you already said for Getty and Sheik, they have an extra year of experience behind them going into this season, but do you also feel like that is a big benefit for the players as well?
I do, but that would be kind of unfair to the younger kids because they've really been productive. I just feel as though it's really talent, and they're coming through. In years past, we were in a situation where we'd kind of have to hope that certain people were available or certain people were in this situation. Now, game to game, it's somebody different. 2 nights ago, it was Jack Cooney and Kyle Kronk, who up to this point in the year hadn't done anything really big. And both of them came through. But that also plays to your point. They're both upperclassmen.
Well, then again, you have players like you said, Bryce Osmond has been a big breakout star. Had a slow start, but again, he did just graduate, had a month of no live hitting. So that is a big bonus there because it did take him to shake off, 1, the rust, and 2, get adjusted to this level of skill and talent, the caliber of the FCBL as well. But you're facing off against the Worcester Bravehearts tonight, who are 4th, 5th, and 6th in average ERA, fielding percentage. Stats aside, what do you and the Suns have to do to get away with another victory, hopefully borrowing away from the home run derby like your past 2 victories?
Well, I think just stay the path that we're doing. The pitchers are throwing strikes. They're not walking people. The bullpen has come in and gotten us out of situations, and guys continue to get on base. They're having good at-bats. Even guys that seem to strike out still produce even with a strikeout. And I'll give an example of Jack Colley the other night, who has been struggling. he had a strikeout, but it was, I believe it was an 8-pitch strikeout instead of a 3 or a 4-pitch strikeout. And in those 8 pitches, we had first and second, and we ended up scoring a run and having a guy on third, even though he struck out without ever putting the ball in play. He strikes out on 3 or 4 pitches. That doesn't happen.
Productive outs, loud outs, and very effective pitching, the key for the Pittsfield Suns tonight, as well as going for the rest of the season. Hitting coach Chris Barbarata, thank you for your time. Good luck out there tonight.
Thank you, Billy.
We'll be right back with the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
I have a passion for the environment. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. We monitor commercial vessels, making sure our ports and waterways are safe and clean from oil or other hazardous material. We patrol our fisheries, protect marine wildlife and their habitats. With all we do, it's about protecting America.
Were you born ready to protect America? Learn more at gocoastguard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Pittsfield Suns pregame show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Welcome back to Paul Dowd Field at Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. We're going to take a quick step away and listen in to the national anthem.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you could all please rise and remove all hats as we honor America with the singing of tonight's national anthem. Performing tonight's anthem, please welcome Timothy Passetto.
Oh, say, can you see by the concert delight what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a rendition of our national anthem performed by Timothy Passetto. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Passetto. Ladies and gentlemen, with the national anthem being sung, it's time for Pittsfield Suns baseball. Now with the starting lineup for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts.
Taking a look at the Worcester Bravehearts starting lineup, leading off will be the center fielder, number 6, John Thrasher. Following, he'll be the left fielder, number 15, Jacob Sessa. Ben Mcneil bats third. He's the second baseman. Number 8, Mac Chelly, is at first base. Number 5, number 2, Tyler Becker bats fifth. He is at shortstop. Jack Gardner is the DH. He bats 6th. Number 16, Ben Rice is catching. He'll bat 7th. Aiden Wild is the third baseman. Number 12, he bats 8th. And rounding out the lineup for the Worcester Bravehearts tonight is the right fielder, number 7, PJ Barry. They will be opposed by the left-hander, Alex Price, for the Pittsfield Suns.
Price, a reliable starter for the Suns. No official record thus far, but it has a 2.70 ERA in 3 starts, 4 total appearances, 20-plus innings pitched, 21 hits, 8 runs, 6 earned, 1 walk to 23 strikeouts,
Wow.
And that is second on the team.
That is excellent. Taking a look at the defensive alignment for your Pittsfield Suns today. Again, Alex Price on the mound. He'll be caught by Andrew Fernandez. From third to first across the infield, Barry, Osmond, Kalumovic, Valenti, and left to right across the outfield, Kronk, Trenkel, and Cooney. That is the defensive alignment for your Pittsfield Suns.
Outfield dimensions at Paul Dowd Field at Wacona Park come as follows. 310 down the left field line, 377 in left field, 374 in straightaway center, 403 in right center field. That's the power alley in the deepest part of the ballpark. 305 down the right field line. And the Pittsfield Suns coming out in their home white uniforms. Black Suns edged out in yellow on the front, red numbers on the left abdomen, black numbers edged out in yellow on the back. White pants with a black and yellow trim down the side. They're electing to go with their normal black cap, black brim with the Suns P logo. Stepping up to the dish will be center fielder number 6, John Thrasher, for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. Play ball says home plate umpire Kyle Williams. And the very first pitch of the ball game is outside for a ball. The count is 1-0 as the ball game kicks off at 5:03 p.m. Here's the 1-0. I want a hot shot over towards third. Good glove there by Barry. Throw over to first is in time as Thrasher unfortunately continue to have a not so great start to the season, batting 190 with no homers, 6 RBI. He's going to see his average dip there with a ground out to third.
Well, it's a good play over there at third base by Conor Barry, really hugging that line. The ball easily could have been down the third base line for a double, but Conor Barry in perfect position there, able to field that ground ball.
Here's the first lefty versus lefty confrontation. That one is jotted foul. 0-1 as Sessa on the season is right now leading the team in qualified batters, 350 hitter, a homer, 14 RBI. 14 RBI listing. That leads the team. Next pitch. That one just misses the outside corner. Maybe a bit low as well, but did miss the outside of the plate. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 gone. Just getting underway.
I think a telling stat, Billy, for Sessa. 4 strikeouts in 60 plate appearances.
That one, oh boy, that one's in on the hands, and that's a line drive over to the pitcher, and that'll be a line out on a very weak line drive that was in on the hands. And that will be officially a line out. Now the second baseman, number 8, Ben Mcneil, will take his hacks. Looking at Mcneil's line so far this season. McNeil's batting .314 with 2 homers and 11 RBI. Those 2 are tied for the team lead as really Worcester doesn't have a lot of power. They have more contact hitters, if anything. And this pitch misses inside, we'll say low. Count is 1-0.
Speaking of contact guys, notably Mariano Ricciardi out of the lineup today for the Bravehearts. He leads the team with 22 games played and 77 at-bats. But, hey, everyone needs a day off, right?
It's a called strike, making it 1-1. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network at Paul Dowd Field at Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Billy Madewell, Colin Quinn, Steve O'Brien Jr. on the call here. As here's the appeal. He did not go. There is 2 gone here in the top of the first, just getting underway between the visiting Worcester Bravehearts and the Pittsfield Suns. Here's a pitch, and this one goes over to third again. Glove there by Barry. Throw over to first, and that's in time for a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Suns, and really much needed there as well. They want to get the momentum on their side as quick as possible. 1-2-3 inning, down go the Bravehearts. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We now head to home half of the first with no score as we present to you the starting lineup for your Pittsfield Suns.
For the Pittsfield Suns, they will go as follows. Leading off for the Suns is the right fielder, number 7, Jack Cooney. Hitting second is the center fielder, number 36, Caden Trenkle. Conor Barry's made 2 plays in the top of that first inning, is hitting third. He plays third base. Jackson Peterson is tonight's DH, batting 4th. Bryce Osmond's over at short. He bats 5th. Jack Kalumovic is at second base tonight, batting 6th. Andrew Fernandez is the catcher. He bats 7th. Matt Valenti is at first base tonight, and he bats 8th. And rounding out the lineup for the Pittsfield Suns will be the left fielder, number 2, Kyle Kronk, and they will be taking on Jeremy Adams of the Worcester Bravehearts.
Adams, really not his season thus far. In 3 appearances, all of them starts. He's 0-2 with a 6.07 ERA. 13 in the third innings pitched, 11 hits, 9 runs, all of them earned, 10 walks to 9 strikeouts. So he's looking to improve his stat line here for the Bravehearts.
Taking a look at the defensive alignment for the Bravehearts this afternoon. Again, Jeremy Adams on the mound for the Hearts. He will be caught by Ben Rice. From third to first across the infield, it's Wild, Becker, McNeil, and Shelley. And left to right across the outfield is Sessa, Thrasher, and Barry. That is the defensive alignment for these Worcester Bravehearts.
As they are donning their road blue uniforms, white Worcester edged out in a lime green with white numbers on the left abdomen, as well as their last names and numbers on the back. Their blue uniforms have a white underarm, which is outlined going over the top, circling the shoulder. Gray pants with a blue trim down the side, blue cap, blue brim with the Worcester W logo in white on the cap. Leading things off for the Pittsfield Suns, home half will be right fielder number 7, Jack Cooney. Cooney leading the team in average for qualified hitters, 324. Hitter with no homers, 4 RBI, 13 walks, which is tied for second on the team. First pitch is in there for a call. Strike count is 0-1. Forgot to mention Kyle Williams. Yes, he is the home plate umpire, but Dave Simon returning bases umpire. We've seen a lot of him in years past. Next pitch, that one misses, blown away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought that was a great interview you had during the pregame show, Billy, with Mr. Barbarata. You talked about how talented this team is, and I think that's really a key piece of their success so far this year.
That pitch does miss over the plate. The count is now 2-1. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But again, the sole reason for me really wanting to get in the head there of Barbarata was, well, he's been here the longest out of basically everyone. As a swing and miss here brings it to 2-2. The only one who's been here as long as him or longer, well, that's me. He knows baseball. He's a staple in Pittsfield and Berkshire County. As a 2-2 bounces in, and the count now is 3-2. A big member of the Barbarata Yankee Foundation, of course. He really knows baseball. He knows his place. He knows how to critique the batters. And by knowing his place, I mean he is a mentor role for everyone, including Gedman, including Shalikas. Here's a 3-2. That one's chopped, headed over to Wild over at third. Forehand glove. Throw over to first is low, but it's grabbed there by Chelly for the first out of the inning.
Nice pick by Chelly at first base. That throw a little low, but no sweat for the first baseman here for the Bravehearts.
Seems like both teams so far are really guarding those lines, not allowing any baseballs to get by the infield.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 36, fresh off his birthday yesterday, Caden Trenkel. The lefty is batting .238 in 10 games played. That's 10 for 42, 2 homers, 6 RBI, and a whiff here on the first pitch swinging. Count is 0-1.
Talking about some of that talent for the Pittsfield Suns this season.
That pitch looked like that one missed out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Interestingly enough, if we want to take a look at some of the starting lineup here for the Suns, 6 of the top 8 hitters on the roster, qualified and unqualified. Because, of course, how can we ignore 13 for 31 Conor Barry, who leads the team in unqualified average? 6 of those top 8 hitters are in the lineup today.
Pitch misses low and away for a ball, now 2-2. And again, the Pittsfield Suns, as previously mentioned, they are third in the league in team average. And the 2-2, that one does miss outside. That'll bring it now to 3-2. It's full again for the second straight batter to kick off the contest for Adams.
Nice take by Trenkel. That was a close pitch, but he was wise to lay off it.
Here's the payoff. Hot shot in between the gap between first and second. That's going to be a base hit here for the Suns. And Trenkel's season continues to improve with a good grounder going into right.
Just a guy that really works up at the plate. Saw a full count there. Saw at least 6 pitches. Was able to get that one out into right field. Just simple hitting, really. That's all it was. Didn't try to do too much with it.
Conor Barry leading the team in unqualified batters. He's batting 13 for 31 in only 8 games. No homers and RBI, but boy, is he getting his hits across, improving the stations for the Suns as he sees the first pitch for a called strike. 0-1.
Talked about the improving Caden Trenkel. Neither he nor Bryce Osmond were with the team to begin the year. But now that they are here, they're making their presence felt both defensively and offensively. They're fun to watch.
And the only reason why Barry is not currently in qualified batters, as the pitch misses low and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. In order for you to qualify in the league, you have to have a minimum plate appearances per team game at 2.7 per game. Right now, he is just out of that as this one's a line shot over the shortstop's head going into center field. And like I said, he continues to improve. He doesn't get the RBIs pushed across, but he improves the Suns station to station. As Barry moves to first, Tranquil moves over to second.
That seems like one that Becker might want back at short. I'm really not sure where he missed that. It wasn't particularly tall of a line drive and relatively middle of the road in terms of speed. It looked like he had a chance to make that play.
DH number 13, Jackson Peterson, one of the best hitters for the Suns. Peterson, 288, 5 homers, 20 RBI. That 20 is leading the league. A step-off motion towards second, no throw.
As per that 5 home runs, he's currently tied with his teammate Mark Coley for the team lead.
And second in the league.
Second in the league overall. I'll have something on that in just a second.
Pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0. I was about to say, what are you going to call that? He's going to shoot a home run?
Well, no, I wish I had that power. I'll delegate that to our good friend Quindini. But Mitch D'Onofrio of the Brockton Rocks hit a 3-run homer in the first inning for Brockton. He leads the league with now 7 homers.
This one a grounder over towards first. Bobbled by the first baseman, only one play to make, saving the error. Took a weird hop, but good defensive play there from Shelley. That will improve the Suns now to 1 out with runners on second and third. For the shortstop, number 40, Bryce Osmond, the highly touted prospect on the season. Again, a slow start, but Boise got things turned on recently. 222 hitter, 2 homers, 7 RBI. Rather, 2 outs, excuse me. Hot shot over to second, but a straight line drive there to Mcneil. That's going to end the inning. So in the inning, Pittsfield Suns, no runs off of 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We now head through 1 full inning of play to the top of the second. Currently no score between Worcester and Pittsfield. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
I have a passion for the environment. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. We monitor commercial vessels, making sure our ports and waterways are safe and clean from oil or other hazardous material. We patrol our fisheries, protect marine wildlife and their habitats. With all we do, it's about protecting America.
Were you born ready to protect America? Learn more at gocoastguard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association and this station.
You suffer from the heartbreak of brain rot, feeling bored, sluggish, listless, not had a new idea in days, using electronic gizmos without a clue why they work. Now there's help. Ham radio, guaranteed to stimulate your corroding neurons and open a whole new world of excitement. To learn more about ham radio, go to helloradio.org.
Side effects of ham radio usage include mental stimulation, desire for education, new career paths, understanding of technology, and cases of addiction have been reported. If you experience any of these symptoms, you're welcome.
Ham radio. It's not your granddaddy's radio anymore.
We now head to the top of the second as the Pittsfield Suns retake the field for the second time. Now in the top of the second behind Northpaw lefty Alex Price. And that, I believe, is going to be a trivia question that both you two are a little bit confused. Hey, Billy, lefties are southpaws. What gives?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man?
Do you know why it is that Alex Price is a northpaw?
No, I don't.
Well,
Tell
here's first baseman number 5, Mac Chelly. I'm going to let this stew for those watching as well.
Wow. All right.
Chelly had 283 batter with 1 homer, 12 RBI.
That is a tease.
It's a very strong tease,
That's a
but
good
I'm
one,
just
man.
I'm
No,
just
that's a
going to
good
let
one.
it stew here.
Is this going to be another movie reference we don't understand?
Actually, no. That pitch is in there for a called strike 1-1, which movie, commercial, I'll get into that later on as well.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, we'll certainly talk about that. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball going out to center. Tranquil going back. So is Cooney. And Tranquil will get underneath the ball for the first out of the inning.
A guy that can put a big ride into the ball almost did it one there. Mac Chelly. I believe he had a home run here when the last time the Bravehearts were here.
Yes, he did.
He did. He was 1 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs in the 9-4 victory for Pittsfield, but just got under that one a little bit too much, and Tranquil was able to run that one back.
Yeah, I was going to say on the opposite side, Tranquil not necessarily a lot of flashy plays in center, but he's been very reliable out there.
This one, they shift to Pohl, and he pushes it past the third baseman into left field. That is Tyler Becker, number 2, the shortstop, who is a 226 hitter with 2 homers, 9 RBI, but market now 15 for 63 on the season as he beats the shift the opposite way.
Yeah, that's just a great hit there by Becker. Again, beating the shift. No one even close to that on the left side of the field. Whether he did that intentionally or just got behind it a little bit, it works out in his favor.
Number 23, the designated hitter, Jack Gardner, the number 6 batter, will dig in. Gardner, a 180 hitter, 11 for 61, no homers, 5 RBI. As there's a runner on first. The reason why Alex Price is a northpaw is it's Wacona Park. The pitch is low and in for a ball, 1-0. The reason why is because home plate faces west. He's a lefty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which brings
All
the
right.
north side.
Fair
Every
enough.
lefty here at Wacona Park is a northpaw. 1-0. That one misses and jets low. 2-0, which also brings back the question. No, it's not movie relations here at Wacona Park, but there was a Walgreens commercial that was filmed here
Really?
at Wacona Park in the 70s. Look
All
it up
right.
on YouTube. Walgreens, Wacona Park. You'll be able to spot it pretty easily. Popped up in the infield, going foul, and that's C. It's off the roof just behind
That
us.
was very close. It's about as close as behind us, that is, as a foul ball's gotten this year.
I'm still going to knock on wood so there's not a foul ball that just hits this window and cracks.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear that.
Because
We had one pretty close.
We did.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we had one that came like right down here somewhere.
Yeah, it hit the frame of the window. Pitch is well inside. Mark it 3-1.
Mr. Bravehearts are a team that is quite aggressive on the base paths, if I do remember correctly.
Price with the 3-1. Up and away, and that's going to force ball 4 for the catcher number 16, Ben Rice. As here comes Brandon Shalikas already.
Catcher number 16, Ben Rice.
We'll get to Ben Rice real quick. 217 hitter. Only 7 games played. He's 5 for 23. No homers and RBI. And there was a play for Ben Rice. He is a great defensive catcher as well as offensive. He just really hasn't had as much time because you have people like Livingston on the team who has been taking up the majority of the catching duties, as well as a few others. But while we have a quick minute to do so, Colin, you said there's some big news in the NBA.
Well, yeah, the NBA free agency doesn't open until 6 p.m., but we are having some words going around.
The Woj bomb?
The Woj, that's what it is, exactly it. That Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan will all be signing with the Brooklyn Nets.
DeAndre Jordan as well. I did not know that one.
There you go. And then the Charlotte Hornets plan to sign Terry Rozier to a 3-year, $58 million deal. So it looks like Kemba Walker is on his way to Boston.
This one fouled back. The count is 0-1.
Officially.
No sign and trade.
It does not say. It does. In deal, in sign, and trade when free agency opens. It does.
Aha!
Nice. It does, yes.
Mid-level exception will now open up.
Called by our intrepid play-by-play man.
Ben Rice, a pickoff motion back towards second. Nobody there. So Becker not as sheepish to head back, excuse me.
Now, speaking to your point earlier, Colin, in terms of aggression on the base paths, I did a little addition here. Worcester, as a team, is 22 for 33 in stolen base attempts this year.
Pitch is low. The check swing, he did not go. Again, another smart call there by Dave Simon. It was not a swing.
So a team that's relatively low in the FCBL, but
yeah,
they do pick their spots when they need to.
That's a nice even 6.67 percentage.
Pitch. That one hits the lower outside corner. Count is 1-2.
Or easily calculable, that is. That's my SAT word for the day.
There you go.
It's baseball. Good. Nothing is easily calculable.
Isn't that the
There we go. And that's not easily said either. Count is 1-2 with runners on first and second with one gone. This one is lifted foul behind us. We'll go again from 1-2.
We'll be having updates on the NBA free agency all throughout the broadcast. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of movement going on. The Celtics still looking to re-sign Al Horford in any way they can.
Which there are reports that there was one surprise team, which is the Celtics. And I'll get into why that is. Here's the 1-2 in on the hands, but it's fouled off of Rice. Count as 1 and 2. What was the reason behind Al Horford electing for free agency?
What was it?
He wanted a long-term deal.
Right.
Guess what the market says? No 4-year deals, only 3, which is exactly what the Celtics were going to give them. More than likely what they'll do is they'll sign a maximum, well, as maximum as you can get of what's allotted in the cap. 3 years plus the dual option. I wouldn't be surprised to see that team option and player option.
Last tweet that I've seen is the Celtics are progressing towards a series of sign and trades to enable them to re-sign Al Horford while maintaining the full MLE.
Mid-level exception, which is, again, what I was just talking about with Terry Rozier. Line drive, but foul down the left field line. Again, we'll go 1 and 2 as Ben Rice is fighting ever more here at the plate.
Got to wonder if the wind took that one a little bit. It wasn't up in the air long, but as you may or may not be able to hear at home, the wind screens on our microphones today are having their work cut out for them. That looked as though it might
because the screens are being cut by the wind.
Really?
I love your pun.
They that one twisted down the third base foul line.
This one down the right field line, but it's foul. So no, it's not the wind.
It's not the wind.
It's not the wind. It's fouled off again.
Wow.
For the 5th time this plate appearance, there's been a foul ball. 4 of them are continuation fouls. It's still a 1-2 count, by the way. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the plate appearance.
Talking about those productive outs, we'll see if this becomes one of them. I mean, albeit for the other team.
It's productive
for
either
the
way.
other team, yeah. Driving up Price's pitch count here early in the game.
Price sets from the stretch as he takes a peek over at Becker and the pitch. Yet again, it's fouled off. Market number 5. That one nearly got into the dugout. It actually got a piece of Gedman there. We'll go again for the 9th pitch of the plate appearance on a 1-2 count.
Ben Rice putting up a really nice at bat here.
Yes,
He's only 5 for 23 this season, which is a 217 average. Only 1 RBI. A chance for a RBI was there's a man on second. Base hit would do that because the outfielders are relatively deep here, especially in right field. Cooney.
The 1-2 again is high. 10th pitch of the plate appearance here. From Price to Rice on the lefty versus lefty matchup.
This could be an interesting early game battle point here between the two teams. Rice with a chance to do some damage here early. Price needing to get out of the inning without any kind of serious damage. And a long at bat.
2-2 high in the air. This one's going to drop into center field. And that's either going to wave the runner. The throw comes in. The throw is cut off. Ben Rice, 10 pitches and an RBI single as the Worcester Bravehearts lead it early, 1-0.
Just a great piece of hitting there by Ben Rice. Really just working the at-bat, working the count, and able to get his pitch and send it into center field. And like I said, there was a runner on second. All he has to do is poke one out there, and there he goes. Picks up RBI number 2 of this season.
A damage control kind of play from Caden Trenkle in center field. Could not get that one in to cut the run down at home, but keeps the runners on first and second.
Pitch misses. Count is 1-0 as third baseman number 12, Aiden Wild, digs in. As we take a peek at Wild. Not his season. 4 for 31, 2 RBIs, batting only 129, as this one hits the upper outside corner, 1-1.
I thought he does have 13 strikeouts this season. A guy that does strike out more often than not.
Price with the 1-1. This one heading over to short. Let's see if they can flip for 2. Throw over to second for 1. Over to first. Got him by a half step. They get out of the inning with a good old-fashioned 6-4-3 double play. I have the T-shirt for it to prove it. But they give up 1 run off of 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. 1.5 innings of play to the bottom of the second. Bravehearts lead the Suns early, 1-0. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Give yourself the gift of a comfortable retirement by setting some cash aside for yourself. Saving a little of your monthly income can be as affordable as the average holiday gift. If retirement is near, you'll want to start saving right away. If you're younger, begin saving now, and compound interest will help your retirement funds snowball. A great way to figure out how much you'll need to save for retirement is to learn how much you'll get from Social Security. Do that in minutes at www.socialsecurity.gov/estimator.
The following commercial is sponsored by feedthepig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
Huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
See store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
Because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Did you know the third leading cause of fire deaths for older adults is cooking? Hi, I'm Rob Neal from the United States Fire Administration with important fire safety tips for seniors. Never leave cooking unattended because a serious fire can start in seconds. Don't wear loose clothing while cooking. Keep towels and pot holders away from the range. Double check the kitchen before you go to bed or leave your home. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
Type 2 diabetes is a serious chronic health threat in America. It affects tens of millions of people. Many people who have the disease don't know it. Diabetes can cause health problems such as heart disease, strokes, amputations, and blindness. Talk to your doctor, get screened if you're at risk, and learn how to avoid becoming one of the millions of new cases of diabetes each year. You can help prevent type 2 diabetes. A message from CDC and HHS.
Now the bottom of the second for the Pittsfield Suns, second baseman number 1, Jack Kolumovic, going to be batting from the left-hand side. As the lefty on the young season, well, actually about midway. Can't believe it. It's already been that far along in the season. He'll sky this one foul. Count is 0-1. Kolumovic, 300 batter, a homer, 6 RBI. This one, a slow chopper in between third and short. Shortstop has it, bluffs it as it is in and out of the hands there. And that we're going to have to go back to replay on because Kolumovic might have beaten that one out.
And that's a tough play, too, for the shortstop, Becker. He had to come a long way and kind of curve back in towards first to make that play again. As you said, Billy, that one's it's kind of be the hit error equivalent of a bang-bang.
Would have been close at first, definitely. Yeah. I don't know if he would have had him there, but definitely good to use some replay to see.
This one is chopped foul from catcher number 8, Andrew Fernandez, one of the best defensive catchers in the league, as well as offensively. He's not having a bad year as well. 283 hitter, a homer, 6 RBI. I
want to go back real quick to the double play to end the inning. Last inning, Osmond to Kolumovic to Valenti at first. Really just a tremendous play by Bryce Osmond to get that one started. I did not think he was going to have time to get the runner at second, but got the ball out quickly and a strong throw at that.
This one foul tipped.
A nice turn at second by Kolumovic. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to look at this one more time before I make my determination real quick. Count is 1-2 here to Fernandez from Jeremy Adams, who has a sign, and the pitch is in the dirt. Count is now 2-2. You know, I'm going to mark that a hit.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Getting a look at now from head coach Matt Gedman. They're cheering and looking up at me. Here's the 2-2. High fly ball down the left field line, but the wind takes it foul and nearly clips members of the Worcester Bravehearts.
They had to duck out of the way there
Yeah,
pretty
they did.
quickly. They jumped.
Got out of there in a hurry. Sharp line drive by Fernandez. Man, if he could have straightened that one out, what a lift that would have been for the Suns here in the bottom of the second.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody gone here in the bottom of the second. Klimovich over on first as a pitch well inside. Fernandez shows off his yoga getting away from that one. The count is full, 3-2.
Another full count here for Jeremy Adams early there. As much as we'd like to point to the Ben Rice at bat last inning to say, hey, he drove up Alex Price's pitch count, the same is happening here.
Runner goes as this one's popped high in the air. They got to have Klimovich go back, but no one's covering first. The first baseman almost loses it, but makes the out. Chelly in front of the catcher. The wind took it so far in. And look at Klimovich now. He's gasping for breath.
Well, ultimately, I don't know that would have been the non-coverage there for the Bravehearts might have been a non-factor. That ball hung up there for about 6 years, and it looked as though Klimovich would have had time to get back nonetheless, but ultimately a decent play by Chelly to track that one down. The wind probably took it quite a bit.
Definitely not an easy catch at all.
First baseman number 12, Matt Valenti, will dig it. And Valenti 182 and only 7 games played. Hot shot into right. He'll improve that. He's going to also have no homers and an RBI. Throw comes into third. Easily would have been gunned down from Barry out and right, but just a seeing eye single to right.
The left fielder, number 2, Kyle Kronk.
Kyle Kronk, a 200 hitter in 11 games played. No homers, 3 RBI. Wants to get rid of those strikeouts right now. He's tied for second on the team, and the highest amount first goes to Jack Hawley right now, 32.
Well, Kronk had a nice 2-hit game his last time out. He was 2 for 4, 2 runs, a double.
Yes, sir.
Game against the Brockton Rocks.
Pitches in there for a called strike, 0-1.
More importantly, if I remember correctly, that double ended up being the game-tying run for the Suns. So he has a nose for timing, does Kronk.
This one does catch the outside corner. Good fastball that paints the black.
That hit kind of reminded me of all the way back to game number 1 against Bristol when he had that clutch hit as well.
That's exactly what I'm saying, man. He's definitely got a sense of timing about him, if not consistency.
The 0-2 swung on going into left field, right to the left fielder, and they're going to hold up the runners. Now the stations are full. The bases are loaded now for the leadoff hitter. Right fielder Jack Cooney, who grounded out to third his last time up.
He's been through 1 1/3. That's the 5th base runner that the Suns have put on. They have been getting at Adams here early. Nothing to show for it yet, but a big chance to change that from one of the Suns' best hitters, Jack Cooney.
Now a quick meeting on the mound here. Looking at Adams. Any more news there?
I'm seeing now that Bleacher Report has said that that Al Horford won't be coming back to Boston despite the Celtics, quote, cap gymnastics.
Cap gymnastics.
I'm surprised they didn't use juggle or anything else like that. Gymnastics, though, was not expecting that.
No,
so that means
doesn't look like Al's coming back to Boston. So it looks like the Celtics are going to have to go for at least a 1 big man. They need a big man.
Miricic, I believe, was going back to Europe.
Right. So they have Ennis Cantor or Steven.
That's
Adams,
who it was.
someone.
Ennis Cantor. That's who I was thinking of.
It's going to be interesting.
Just as this situation right here, it's fouled back 0-1.
A couple of guys have re-signed with their teams that they played for last season, including Chris Middleton with Milwaukee gets a 5-year, $178 million contract. Harrison Barnes for the Sacramento Kings, 4 years, $85 million contract.
Harrison Barnes does return to Sacramento. Pitch misses low and in. The count is 1-1. So I believe the 2 teams for Al Horford right now are the Sacramento Kings or the Clippers.
I also heard the Pelicans possibly as well.
Yes, that was the 3rd team. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Time is called there by Cooney.
But how about the New York Knicks right now? And they're looking. They didn't get Kevin Durant. They didn't get Kyrie Irving. They didn't get Zion Williamson. They didn't even get a top pick. They got the guy from Duke in the draft. That's about all they got going for them.
Pitches again inside. Count is 2-1 here to Cooney. But yeah, I'm just saying this as a personal note. If you're a Knicks fan, I'm not kidding. I do apologize that I feel bad for you.
I hear that.
2-1 is swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Again, not a joke. It's just
no, it's not. Not for them.
No, it's just a shame to see that franchise had a gut punch, and
After
then they were
another
kicked in the
one,
back
after
of the head
another one, and
after
it's just, ugh.
they were down. Adams with the 2-2. Way inside. That one's going to wake up Cooney a bit. The count is full 3-2. There's only one out, so the runners are not forced to be off with the pitch.
Well, this is a huge pitch
Yes,
here
is.
early in the game. Bases are loaded. Jack Cooney, your leadoff hitters, up to the plate. Jeremy Adams has 10 walks this season given up already.
Cut on and miss for strike 3. Not able to get the contact there as the pitch went low and away, trying to induce maybe a double play ball, but just a swing and miss. As here's Caden Trenkle, a single to right his last time up. Adams with the wind and the deal. This one does hit the outside corner against the lefty, 0-1.
Trenkle, a guy that can go yard. He's proved that 2 times. One last night, one last weekend.
Also, this one at the knees on the outside corner, 0-2.
Tough pitches for Trenkle. I can't say I blame him for taking either of those, but just not in his favor. Quick 0-2 count.
Adams with the 0-2. This one tried to make him chase outside, but a little too far out. It was pitched. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 gone. 1-0 Bravehearts here in the top of the second.
Adams looking really much more comfortable in the windup than the stretch.
Also outside. This one low, however, 2-2.
Quick 2 strikes to Trenkle. We now delivered 2 balls in a row.
And now you really have to go at him because, again, you don't have anywhere that you can put Trenkle. Adams, 2-2. Tapped foul. We'll go again to 2-2. Tonight is Walk the Plank. Yeah, that's a play on words for Wacona Park. W-A-H-C.
I love it
Walk
so much.
the Plank. It's Pirates and Princesses Night presented by Pittsfield Police Union. Here's a 2-2. Outside again, and oh boy, what a situation has developed from 0-2 to 3-2 full, bases loaded, 2 outs.
If I have this scored correctly, and feel free to correct me if I don't, I believe this is the 5th 3-2 count that we've seen out of Adams so far.
5th. Runners will be off with a pitch with 2 outs, and going from the windup will be Adams. The pitch outside will walk in a run. It is 1-1 off the RBI walk by Caden Trenkle. And here comes their baseman, number 43, Conor Barry, who has had a great start to a season that he did not start this season with the Sun.
This would be a tremendous feather in his cap to drive in a couple more runs here. He has been a great hitter for the Suns so far this season in somewhat limited action compared to some of the other players, but nonetheless.
High drive, and this one goes foul.
Barry's just a guy that really just hits for contact. Usually doesn't have a lot of runners on base, is why he doesn't have a lot of RBIs, but a chance here to really get the Suns ahead. Base it does score 2.
This one is low and away. Good pick there by Rice. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike.
Kyle Kronk taking a generous lead off of second base, and he has a lot of speed, primarily used as a pinch runner at the University of Pennsylvania, where he plays his college ball.
1-1 inside. Make it now 2-1.
Bryce tried to frame that one, but pretty far inside. Nice take by Barry. We've seen Adams has been a little wild so far, so no pressure to necessarily come out hacking here.
2-1, line drive. Again, it's foul. And again, it hits the tires that holds the tarp down during the rain. And again, we'll make it a foul ball. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Barry is going to go for a new bat.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't think that one's safe. Yeah, he's going to get a new lumber stick. It looks like there might have been a crack in the bat. That's what he was fiddling with his thumb with. New lumber stick in hand. It's a 2-2 count. The pitch. And on the hands, foul going behind home plate. Rice going to chase. Does he have room? Yes, he does. Just out of our view, but Rice with a great defensive grab, fighting the netting. He'll collect the out and will end the threat after the Suns tied the ball game with 1 run off of 3 hits. No errors, but the bases are left loaded. 2 full innings to the top of the third. It is 1-1 between Pittsfield and Worcester. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Many parents miss the important step of booster seats.
Maybe you better explain things to him.
Booster seats raise your child up so that a safety belt designed for adults will fit and protect them properly.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Hop in, my dear. Oh, thank you.
And like Cinderella, you can live happily ever after.
It's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
So here's my cell phone number, my husband's cell phone number, and here's the number to the grandparents. The number of the restaurant we'll be at. It's just down the block. And I told the neighbor.
Leading things off now here for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts, the only man not to come up to the plate. Will do so for the first time here tonight. Right fielder number 7, P.J. Barry for the Bravehearts. Here's the first pitch to Barry. This one skied out to deep right center field. Going back is Cooney, but the wind will keep it in, and he will collect the out. Barry on the season was batting .235 with a homer, 6 RBI, but now he is 8 for 35 instead of 34. Leadoff hitter John Thrasher grounded out to third base to kick off the contest. Price with the windup. This one bounces in. Looks like Fernandez lost it in the dirt. It's 0-1, rather flipped 1-0.
Not too often we say that. Fernandez lost it. He's been excellent behind the plate, as we've mentioned. Among some great defensive work by the Suns, he might have been their best.
Hot shot to third again. Great glove by Barry, and Barry throws over to first to get out Barry on a great defensive play from Barry.
Great defensive play, as I'm saying it. There it is. Great glove by Conor Barry at first base, B-E-R-R-Y.
Third base.
Excuse me, third base.
But it's Barry putting out his counterpart for his namesake. Now for Jacob Sessa. He lined out to the pitcher his last time out. Rather, that was Thrasher, not Barry. See, now I'm getting confused here because I'm getting it from both ways. Here's the 1-0. This one fouled off, and now the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Jacob Sessa digs in against the lefty Price, who shakes his head, now nods, whines, and with the 1-1 fires. This one a blooper, heading over to second base And this one's collected by Kalumovic to end the inning.
Quick 1-2-3 inning there. And it's the second time that we saw Jacob Sessa kind of wave at the pitch.
Well, this one was more on the barrel of the bat than in on the hands. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Through 2.5 to the bottom of the third, 1-1 between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney on behalf of RAD. If you're drinking, you can't drive my car or any car. Remember, if you're partying this holiday season, don't drink and drive. Got it? It's just not worth it. Doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
Public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
It'll be the middle of the order for the Suns in the bottom of the third. Peterson, Osmond, and Kalumovic going to dig in. With two of those men not up to the plate in the second, as the Pittsfield Suns were only able to get one run, the bases loaded.
We'll see if that becomes a factor as this game goes on. Kind of a wasted opportunity for the Suns, only able to push across one run in that inning. Of course, they had three batters come up with the bases loaded, and only one of them able to bring a man in. That was Trankel on a walk.
Ground out to first from Peterson. There was runners on first and second. He pushed them to second and third. As this one bounces in, gets away there from Rice. Again, it's no pressure situation. Just like it was for Fernandez when he lost the pitch last inning as well. Count is 1-0. Nobody gone in the bottom of the third. Tie ball game, 1 apiece. This one, it looks like a curve, but it drops low, 2-0.
Already 5 hits in the game for the Pittsfield Suns, so they're often running here early, just haven't been able to push across many runs, just the one on the walk.
Yes, sir. Adams has not been particularly sharp.
2-0. This one's fouled back. That one got in on the leg there of Rice. On the left leg, they're going to make sure that he's all right. Just give him a bit of extra time to recover there. Adams has a sign, fires a 2-1. This one swung on and missed there. It is count of 2-2. Here's a 2-2 missing outside. Mark it 3-2. A lot of 3-2 counts here by Adam. I believe now you said that was 6. Steve, you said it was 5 previous, but no, now it's 6.
Yes, sir, 6.
Here's the payoff, and it pays off for Peterson with a walk.
I was going to say, from our angle, which is not the best necessarily, but we do see quite a bit, none of those pitches looked particularly good in that at-bat against Peterson. The two that he swung at weren't stellar. They weren't strikes necessarily. So, again, it might behoove these Suns batters to be patient here with Adams. He hasn't been able to find the strike zone very well.
Shortstop number 40, Bryce Osmond with a bunt. This one almost going past the pitcher. It does. A throw over to first. And safe.
That's the second time, I believe, in as many games as we have seen Osmond drop down a surprise bunt. Now he can add that to his already impressive repertoire. He's picked his spots with it, and it's worked both times.
That'll be a sacrifice error, so E1. And this one is, oh boy, a generous call on the outside corner.
Yes, it was. That looked to be outside by at least an inch or two.
Count is 0-1 to Kalumovic as he golfs this one out. Line drive to the second baseman, throw over to first. They ruled him safe.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Wow. They had Jackson Peterson over at second base, dead to right. He was trying to mess with the pitcher a little bit, and a sharp line drive hit to second base. And the second baseman over there, Mcneil, had the chance to just kind of dump the ball off to Becker at short and get Peterson at second, but decided to go the long way over to first. And I don't know, that very, very close play, but Osmond maybe got his foot in there.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised we're not seeing some form of a argument here from the Worcester Bravehearts. It looked like they had Osmond by at least half a second.
It's a tough call by the umpire, too, because he's nearly at second base, and he had to make that call over at first base. So
fair enough.
Tough to see. But the Worcester Bravehearts dugout is right over at the first base line. They probably saw that better, but no argument whatsoever, so he must have been in there.
The 0-1. This one shot foul. Count is 0-2. I'm going to look back on that play one more time just to give the benefit.
Bunt or the line?
The line, the bunt.
The bunt. Okay.
Hernandez popped out to the first baseman about 15 feet in front of the catcher because the wind just kept bringing it in. Foul behind us. Well, foul.
Well, Steve, I know you said that the MLB All-Stars are being announced today.
That's correct, my dude.
And so I just saw on Twitter that the Red Sox have a couple of guys heading back, which is good. JD Martinez and Mookie Betts will be on the 2019 All-Star team.
They are players of that caliber.
0-2 is high in the air. They're going to rule an infield fly here. The shortstop will collect it in fair territory. But that is an infield fly rule.
The first baseman, number 12, Matt Valente.
Now Matt Valente will dig in. Single to right his last time up.
Pittsfield Suns said the first two runners get on base here in the bottom of the bottom of the third, but the next two hitters were unable to move them. So they've been stuck on first and second here. Now 2 outs. Valente with a single his last time up, trying to make another one of those.
Valente, this one fouled back towards the Suns dugout, 0-1.
Sun is really shining down here on Wacona Park now. It's turned into quite a nice day. The clouds covered for most of the day, but now sun may play a factor in this game.
This one a hot shot up the middle, and the shortstop will take it on a weird hop and will somehow corral himself to collect the fielder's choice, step on second, jump out of the way, and get down away from it. What a circus catch and play was that. It'll officially go down as a fielder's choice, 6 unassisted. No runs, no hits, an error. 2 men left through 3 full. We head now to the top of the 4th. Suns tied with the Bravehearts, 1 apiece. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney on behalf of RAD. If you're drinking, you can't drive my car or any car. Remember, if you're partying this holiday season, don't drink and drive. Got it? It's just not worth it. Doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
Public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Do you suffer from the heartbreak of brain rot, feeling bored, sluggish, listless, not had a new idea in days, using electronic gizmos without a clue why they work? Now there's help. Ham radio, guaranteed to stimulate your corroding neurons and open a whole new world of excitement. To learn more about ham radio, go to helloradio.org.
Side effects of ham radio usage include mental stimulation, desire for education, new career paths, understanding of technology, and cases of addiction have been reported. If you experience any of these symptoms, you're welcome.
Ham radio. It's not your granddaddy's radio anymore.
We now head to the top of the fourth. It's going to be the heart of the order, Mcneil, Shelley, Becker, the 3, 4, 5 hitters for Worcester.
Going back to that last inning, it's another 2 runners left on base for the Suns. That number starting to pile up. Again, they had 10 last night against North Shore.
That one's in there, called strike to Mcneil. 0-1, he grounded out to third. Yeah, right now for the Suns, it's not looking too pretty. They already have 7. This one foul behind us, and not sure where it went, but definitely out of play.
So you could sort of take that either way and say, hey, the Suns are having success against Jeremy Adams so far, or hey, they're not able to finish.
Here's the 0-2. That one bounces for a ball. The count now 1-2. A windy day here as the sun has really opened up as well. The clouds, they have dissipated, barely any in sight. The 1-2 is cut on a miss for strike 3. It's dropped. Throw over to first, however, is in time. That'll be a strikeout, swinging 2-3 put out. The first out of the inning for the first baseman, number 5, Mcneil.
So yes, sir, Colin, as you mentioned earlier, we have some names to announce in terms of all-star pitchers and reserves in the MLB, as well as a couple of fun MLB stories for you. And a look around the FCBL coming up later.
This one fouled, coming up right now, actually.
All right. Well, let's do it, gentlemen. Taking a look around the FCBL first, the North Shore Navigators lead the Bristol Blues 2-0 in the top of the fourth. Brockton jumped out to an early 3-0 lead on the strength of Mitch D'Onofrio's leading 7th home run of the year. It was a 3-run shot.
That one bounces as well, 1-1.
Westfield has collected a 2-run base knock for Tommy Quinn on a bases loaded situation. It's now 3-2 Brockton in the top of the fourth. Of course, the Bravehearts and Suns are tied 1-1, as you are currently watching here on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Taking a look at some MLB scores from today. Games currently in progress. The White Sox lead the Twins 2-0 in the top of the sixth. That game is currently experiencing a delay. 9-4 Dodgers over the Rockies mid-6. Giants 4, D-backs 1 in the bottom of the sixth. The A's beating the Angels 5-2. They're headed to the seventh. Padres are blanking the Cardinals 3-0 in the top of the sixth. One game still to come today. Braves at Mets. That's a 7:05 first pitch. Games that have already gone final. Yankees 12, Red Sox 8 in the second game of the London series.
Chop foul.
As the Londoners were treated to plenty of offense in those two games.
50 runs, was it?
It was a lot.
So.
It was
50 runs. That's what it was.
Indians 2, Orioles nothing. Royals beat the Blue Jays 7-6. Cubs lost to the Reds 8-6. The Nats beat the Tigers 2-1. Max Scherzer K's 14 and collects the win in his first game against his former team. Rays 6, Rangers 2. The Phillies beat up on the Marlins 13-6. Astros beat the Mariners 6-1. Brewers beat the Pirates 2-1. That is your MLB scoreboard. Now to take a look at some all-star game festivities.
After we just quickly announce.
Certainly.
Single and a run scored as a shortstop, Tyler Becker, with a walk to Mcneil. He sits on first.
5 men set to compete in the home run derby. On July 8th, Carlos Santana of the Indians, Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Blue Jays, the obvious choice Christian Yelich of the Brewers, Pete Alonso from the Mets, and Josh Bell from the Pirates.
And quick note, Vlad Guerrero Jr., the youngest ever to be in a home run derby,
Yes,
even
sir.
beating out Ken Griffey Jr. back in 1990.
Yes, sir.
Well, wave and a miss there from Becker as he practiced his golf swing. The count is now 1-2.
As mentioned during our previous broadcast, the reserves and pitchers for the All-Star game being announced today starting at 5:30. So we have a few names already in for that, and by a few, I mean a lot. For the NL, your reserves, Yasmani Grandal, JT Realmuto, Pete Alonso, Josh Bell, Mike Moustakas, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rendon, Paul DeJong, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, David Dahl, and Jeff McNeil, your NL reserves.
2-2 is just foul.
Starting pitchers for the National League, Sandy Alcantara, Walker Buehler, Luis Castillo, Jacob deGrom, Zach Greinke, Josh Hader, Clayton Kershaw, Hyunjin Ryu, Max Scherzer, Will Smith, Mike Soroka, and Kirby Yates. And so far, we have the reserves announced for the AL, but not yet the starting pitchers. James McCann, Jose Abreu, Tommy La Stella, Whit Merrifield, Matt Chapman, Francisco Lindor, Mookie Betts, Joey Gallo, Austin Meadows, JD Martinez, and Daniel Vogelbach being the reserve players for the AL All-Star team. Again, we will keep you updated on that as we go on in this broadcast. Almost certainly those pitchers will be announced within the next couple of innings. That has been your look around.
Two is way out in front. Price pulls the string, and that is a big strikeout there for Price.
Yes, sir. Nice pitch.
Second in the inning and the game. Now the DH, Jack Gardner.
As we look around, the league NBA free agency has officially gone underway. 6 p.m. was the start. A lot of things being tweeted out by Adrian Wojnarowski, I think that's how you say it. Wojnarowski. J.J. Redick has signed with the New Orleans Pelicans on a 2-year, $26.5 million deal.
Say that one more time as the pitch is low.
2 years for $26.5 million for J.J. Redick, New Orleans Pelicans.
They needed shooting.
There you go. Kemba Walker is officially a member of the Boston Celtics on a 4-year, $141 million max contract.
Pitch is low, 2-0 here to Jack Gardner.
We also have, as mentioned earlier, Chris Middleton re-signing with the Milwaukee Bucks on a 5-year, $178 million deal. Harrison Barnes returning to the Sacramento Kings, 4 years, $85 million deal.
To a high fly ball, but it's a line drive right to the left fielder, Kronk. That's going to end the inning. We're going to get more into FCBL, MLB, and NBA stories and happenings and what have you when we come back. But no runs, no hits, no errors, one man left through 3.5 to the bottom of the fourth. Suns are tied with the Bravehearts, 1 apiece. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Getting your child home safely
Tap your views together 3 times.
is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association.
We are back to live action in the bottom of the fourth as Adams with the first pitch misses inside 1-0. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Billy Madewell, Colin Quinn, Steve O'Brien Jr. here at Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. It is the bottom of the fourth and a 1-1 count to the leadoff hitter, number 9 hitter, Kyle Kronk, the left fielder. The Pittsfield Suns and the Worcester Bravehearts tied 1 apiece. Hot shot over the shortstop's head, Becker, going into left center field. Rounding first with a very wide go-around is Kronk. He's going to settle, however, with his second line drive hit over the shortstop going into left field.
It's a nice 2-hit game for Kyle Kronk. He's not had a tremendous success this year at the plate, but he's put on a nice display this afternoon.
Raising that average quite nicely. Like I mentioned, 2 for 4 in his last game. Now 2 for 2 here tonight. He does have some speed on the base pass.
First pitch, swinging to the shortstop, however. Here's a throw to second for 1, over to first. Quickly erased. 2 gone with a 6-4-3 double play.
Taking a look again at the MLB seconds after I passed it away, the pitchers for the AL were announced. They are as follows: Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito, Shane Green, Brad Hand, John Means, Mike Minor, Charlie Morton, Jake Odorizzi, Ryan Presley, Marcus Stroman, and Justin Verlander.
First pitch swinging is Caden Trenkle with an RBI walk and a single.
So, as I understand it, for us here in the booth, our respective all-stars for the Yankees, it's Gary Sanchez, DJ LeMahieu, and Aroldis Chapman. For the Red Sox, it's JD Martinez and Mookie Betts.
Chop foul. Count is 1-2. Very, very weird year. Where is Judge?
For sure.
Right. And where's Stanton?
Yep.
But he's on the injury
I'd say
list.
he's been injured. So,
both of them.
The 1-2. Hot shot right back to the pitcher like it ain't no thing. A throw over to first in time. That will end the inning with an unorthodox 1-2-3 inning. No runs off of 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. We now head through 4 full to the top of the 5th. Still a 1-1 tie ball game between Worcester and Pittsfield. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
I have a passion for the environment. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. We monitor commercial vessels, making sure our ports and waterways are safe and clean from oil or other hazardous material. We patrol our fisheries, protect marine wildlife and their habitats. With all we do, it's about protecting America.
Were you born ready to protect America? Learn more at gocoastguard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association and this station.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Getting your child home safely
Tap your views together 3 times.
is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Top 5, but bottom of the order. It'll be Rice, Wild, Barry in the mix here for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. Again, still a tie ball game with the Pittsfield Suns, 1-1. Make it 0-1 with the first pitch breaking ball there for Alex Price, the lefty, against the lefty Ben Rice. The count is 0-1. A slow windup from Price and the pitch. This one swung on past the diving second baseman, Kalumovic, into center field. And how about that? A multi-hit ball game for the catcher, Ben Rice.
And Kalumovic just couldn't get there. That was very close to being a tremendous sliding play at second. Whether he could have had the recovery to get up and throw out Rice is another factor, but nice effort by Kalumovic.
Ben Rice scored the first run of the ball game with a RBI single his last time out, but was pretty much quickly erased by an Aiden Wild 6-4-3 double play, which can be repeated. But a bunt down the third baseline, it's foul.
Just a couple of more things to go over in the NBA. Looks like Derrick Rose has signed a 2-year deal with the Detroit Pistons. Free agent Terrence Ross has signed a 4-year, $54 million deal to return to the Orlando Magic. And Garrett Temple is returning to the Brooklyn Nets. He has got a 2-year deal for $10 million.
Now, that was a big piece for Orlando this past year for Terrence Ross. That's one player they desperately wanted to keep. They just wanted to make sure that they had cap room as well. This one's lifted foul.
Still no word on Orlando's Vucevic, though. He's a free agent, a big guy. There,
he's in the mix, I believe, for the Celtics.
He was.
They're going after him as well.
He was indeed. That would be a huge signing for the Celtics. Al Horford, still nothing on Al Horford yet. Kristaps Porzingis is re-signing with the Mavs, 5 years, $158 million.
Pitch is low. Oh, boy. A throw to first would have gotten him.
Yes, sir. I'm surprised Fernandez didn't pull the trigger on that one. He certainly has the arm to do it. As we saw during the warm-ups in between innings, his throw down to second was on the money. No surprise there.
I just got word on Nicholas Vucevic. 4-year, $100 million deal, staying in Orlando.
All right, there you go. Kevin Durant has officially confirmed his move to Brooklyn as well.
Two balls, two strikes, runner on first, nobody gone, and the pitch. This one is chopped foul, and great glove there, or non-glove there.
Great hand there.
Yeah, we'll say that from Brandon Schleek. It's his left one. He's got a great right arm as well. Two balls, two strikes. We already know, I believe Marc Gasol was staying in Toronto.
Jonas Valanciunas on the other side, staying in Memphis.
2-2 is up in the air for a ball, 3-2.
Those two were traded for each other just about at the trade deadline of the NBA season last season.
This could turn out to be a big pitch here for Price. Difference between 2 on, nobody out, and 1 on, 1 out. Or maybe more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's the payoff. Lifted in. This one is past the shortstop. Osmond, as this one was lifted on a line shot, grounds into left, and that is a base knock for Aiden Wild, bringing up the right fielder, P.J. Barry.
There are a couple of very sufficient innings. I believe a 9-pitch inning in the first and about a 5-pitch inning in the third. This one's going to grow a little bit more here, as Price is going to have to work with the runners on base.
Yes, sir. It's been a pretty solid outing for Price so far, kind of par for the course.
Off the end of the bat, dribbling foul first base side for Barry.
As Billy said during the pregame, Price has been very reliable for these Suns this year. Started opening night here at Wacona Park.
Here's the 0-1. Also fouled. This one going the opposite way, third base side, 0-2.
Been able to collect those 2 strikes early on against these last 2 batters, Aiden Wild and P.J. Barry. Could make it count, though, during the last at-bat. We'll see if he can here.
Price has an 0-2 count, nobody gone. Price the 0-2, swung on a miss for strike 3. Definitely needed that one. As this will bring up now John Thrasher, 2 groundouts to third. Once robbed on a line shot that might have been extra bases.
Coming into the game, Thrasher is hitting 190 and 63 plate appearances for the Bravehearts. So not the season he's wanted.
He
but
must have been pretty unlucky. A couple of those at least. As Conor Barry's dropped him twice here today.
Fair enough. Barry has been excellent at the hot corner.
Here's the pitch. Good curve from the lefty. It's 0-1.
Boy, yes, it was. That was a beauty from Bryce.
Again, he's got a fastball, circle change, slider, and curve. That being the sophomore out of Middlebury College. This one, yet again, it's fouled off, and Gedman stabs that one sitting down. Good job on him.
A lot of good gloves in that dugout.
Yes,
Not
sir.
even players.
Non-leather gloves.
I'd say especially from the coaching staff. We've heard Getty's name a few times as it comes to foul balls this season.
This one is lifted out into right. Going back here is Cooney. He's going to charge in, collect it. A throw in, a strong throw to third. Oh, boy, that would have beaten the runner. Smart move there by Ben Rice. The catcher's thing put at second.
Yes, sir. And a nice throw by Cooney. He had to make that a long one, of course, coming from right to third. And he certainly did. Wise play by Rice to stay put at second.
Jacob Sessa, a line out to the pitcher, a pop out to the second baseman. I think it was Brooke Lopez was the other center that the Celtics were looking at. I'm sorry.
Looks like we got a pinch hitter here for Worcester. I think you are right.
Trevor Johnson will come in to pinch hit. Johnson, only one game played. He's 2 for 4 with a run scored. 2 strikeouts were his only outs. First pitch to him. It's going to miss upstairs for a ball, 1-0.
Well, Johnson was 2 for 4 yesterday in the win over the Bristol Blues. Had a run. His 2 hits were singles. His 2 outs were strikeouts.
Lifted down the right field line, but that's foul. And out of play. Price, long hold, and the 1-1 again fouled off. This one out of the ballpark instead of just out of play.
That first foul ball there by Sessa almost looked as though it might grab some fair territory, at least off the crack of the bat. Could have been trouble for the Suns defense, but fortunately enough, a harmless foul ball. And Price now has a 1-2 count to work with.
The 1-2. Yet again, it's fouled off. This one first base side, and that one's going to go off the beer tent, and someone's going to grab that one.
Well, Alex Price has settled down here quite nicely, allowing the first 2 runners to get aboard and then getting the last 2 outs. Just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning.
Now the 1-2. Oh, boy, that one way high. That's going to be a wild pitch.
No one got away from Price, tried to overthrow it there. A little bit too anxious.
Now sets up a bit of a tense situation for the Suns. Both runners now in scoring position. Again, a critical at-bat here for both teams in a deadlocked 1-1 game as we start to get into the middle innings.
So runners on second and third now here for Trevor Johnson. And the pitch fouled back. He continues to fight and battle here. Every strike in this plate appearance has been a foul ball.
Now, on the subject of foul balls, you boys, I saw, I believe, a tweet the other day regarding the Red Sox-Yankees series in London, and this is just a bit of a culture shock for you. The PA announcer at, I believe it was London Stadium, yes?
Olympic Stadium in London.
Thank you. Mentioned on multiple occasions, hey, if a foul ball comes into the stands and you catch it, you are allowed to take it home as a souvenir.
That's because of cricket.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
Yes. Yep.
2-2. Lifted into left. Going back is Kronk. He sits underneath it and collects the out for the final out of the inning. So it's Bryce getting away from the jam. In the inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left. We now head through 4.5 to the bottom of the 5th. Still a 1-1 contest between the Bravehearts and the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Give yourself the gift of a comfortable retirement by setting some cash aside for yourself. Saving a little of your monthly income can be as affordable as the average holiday gift. If retirement is near, you'll want to start saving right away. If you're younger, begin saving now, and compound interest will help your retirement funds snowball. A great way to figure out how much you'll need to save for retirement is to learn how much you'll get from Social Security. Do that in minutes at www.socialsecurity.gov/estimator.
The following commercial is sponsored by feedthepig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
Huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
See store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
Leading off for the Suns, the third baseman, number 43, Conor Barry.
PA announcer Mike Keck said it best. Third baseman Conor Barry will dig in. A single to center, a foul pop out to the catcher. Rice, who just barely got it, fighting the netting. As Jeremy Adams will fire the first pitch of the inning inside for a ball. The count is 1-0.
Well, if you're Adams, a tough part of the lineup coming up. Conor Barry, Jackson Peterson, Bryce Osmond due up with Jack Kalumovic and Andrew Fernandez lurking behind them.
1-0 is fouled off, third base line.
There's no action going on in the Worcester Bravehearts bullpen either.
He is getting up there in pitches. Right now he sits at 74.
Everyone seems pretty calm down there. No real movement. So this looks like it's going to be Adams' inning, at least for now.
1-1. Inside again, and now the count is 2-1.
Speaking of calm, the wind seems to have calmed down a bit as I knock on wood saying that. The sun has come out. The clouds have dissipated. We have a beautiful afternoon here at the ballpark.
The 2-1 from Adams. That one's lifted again, foul. Oh boy, that took a weird careen off the wall. Going up pretty much all the way to left field.
We've seen a few of those so far this game. Fouls off the third base and the left field line, as it were. Suns hitters are doing a good job of getting out in front of Jeremy Adams. We need to be a little more patient.
This one is it in play. Throw over to first is in time, so fouling it off and fighting it up, but this one stays in fair territory. Good job of upping the pitch count there against Adams, but that is going to be an out.
Jackson Peterson.
Now Jackson Peterson, he's 0 for 1 with a walk his previous time up. Pitch, and it's the outside corner against the lefty Peterson, 0-1.
A guy that has proven that he can hit the ball and he can hit the ball far. He's got 5 home runs on the season, but he's got way more, including a home run derby a couple of times.
That one is called a strike and a generous call on the outside part of the plate, but it's been consistent. Count is 0-2.
He has hit 6 in the derbies combined. That is of the ones we have seen. 6 home runs, 5 of them here against, I believe it was Nashua, while Billy was away, and then 1 last night against North Shore.
That pitch misses low and outside. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2. That one drops in. Definitely had some digits on it, but however, didn't have the location of it. Here's a 2-2. That one misses low and outside. Count is now full at 3-2.
Another full count here for Jeremy Adams. Just seems like every time he gets to a two strike count, he really works those balls in there as well.
Hot shot past the pitcher's outstretched glove. That goes into center field for a base hit there for Jackson Peterson.
Finally able to make some contact with the ball and put the ball in the play and get your first hit of the game. Peterson's been a guy you can really rely on all season long. Bringing up Bryce Osmond, a guy that's really on the come up here.
And that with that hit, Peterson now stakes himself to a 5-game hit streak.
Bryce Osmond is 0-for-1. Last time up, he reached on a sacrifice bunt, but an error on the pitcher, Adams. First pitch he sees is low, 1-0.
So Adams has put on runners in every inning that we've seen out of him so far. The Suns have stranded all but one of them to this point. Let's see if they can turn that around here.
Big kind of miss there from Osmond. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. Looks like Indiana's Bohan Bogdanovich no longer with Indiana. He's now part of the Utah Jazz, a 4-year, $73 million deal. Makes a whole lot of sense for that caliber of player. At the knees on the inside corner. It's 1-2.
Tough loss for the Pacers, but a good gain for the Jazz. A couple of names still on the list that have not signed. Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, D'Angelo Russell, Malcolm Brogdon, Julius Randle, Patrick Beverly, Danny Green, Rodney Hood.
1-2. That one is swung on. No, it's foul tipped.
DeMarcus Cousins, a name out there as well. Celtics maybe looking at him.
Kawhi Leonard more than likely not going to be even said today, if not even this week. Hasn't met with Lakers brass yet. Going to go to Toronto as well. But interesting, you said Chris Middleton re-signed with the Bucks. 5-year, $178 million deal. This one is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He appealed to second base. Did not go on the swing, was Osmond.
Middleton was drafted in the 2nd round of the 2012 draft. That's the largest contract for a 2nd-round pick in NBA history.
For a good player, too. Well deserved.
Hot shot foul, and Trankel will stab that one away from his future teammate. Current and future teammate, I might add. Daniel House, 3-year, $11.1 million deal. That one is swung on and foul tipped, and that'll be a strikeout there for Osmond, bringing up Jack Klumovic. Al-Farouq Amino, 3-year, $29 million deal with the Orlando Magic. Forgot to mention Daniel House with the Rockets. From one player going from the NBA to the EuroLeague power forward Nikola Melli, 2-year, $8 million deal with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Just got word that that Malcolm Brogdon, formerly of the Milwaukee Bucks, is going 4 years, $85 million to the Indiana Pacers.
Which is a good replacement there for Bogdanovich.
Your guy.
Garrett Temple, Terrence Ross.
That was a trade. Indiana is trading a first round and two future second round picks to Milwaukee for Malcolm Brogdon.
Gerald Green is staying with Houston on a 1-year deal. No specifications on how much. Jonas Valanciunas again staying with the Grizzlies. Derrick Rose, Harrison Barnes, Chris Middleton. There's a lot of these. Here's the pitch. It's the outside corner. Call strike. A delayed steal. Throw over to second. No call, which is a ruling of safe.
The ball got away from both fielders there. We saw Peterson bluff a steal during the previous at-bat for Bryce Osmond, and there he goes down to second base.
So Peterson with a stolen bag, and the pitch misses low.
That's Peterson's first attempt of the season and a successful one at that.
Well, he was dancing over there at first base. He bluffed one earlier in the at-bat to Bryce Osmond, and he decided to finally pick that one up and go.
This one is off of Kolumovic. He's hobbling about. That one's got a sting.
Jeremy Lamb also going to Indiana. Going from Charlotte to Indiana.
Well, Brooklyn's looking really good here with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan. I was not expecting DeAndre Jordan to be in the mix, but I did forget that Brook Lopez is a free agent as well.
It's going to be a dangerous team, that Brooklyn Nets team, but
same with the Pelicans now. They're absolutely stacked.
Oh,
The
yeah.
runner goes as this one's in on the edge of the bat. Third baseman picks it up, throws over to first in time. I'll go down as a 5-3 put up, and a fantastic play by Wild at third. That'll end the inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and a man left. Now heading through 5 full to the top of the 6th. It is the Suns and the Bravehearts tied at 1 apiece. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Did you know the third leading cause of fire deaths for older adults is cooking? Hi, I'm Rob Neal from the United States Fire Administration with important fire safety tips for seniors. Never leave cooking unattended because a serious fire can start in seconds. Don't wear loose clothing while cooking. Keep towels and pot holders away from the range. Double check the kitchen before you go to bed or leave your home. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're even famous entertainers. They're teachers.
Okay, class, settle down. Open your book.
They're scientists and astronauts. They're hams. They're 650,000 strong, and they're just like you. Earning your amateur radio license is easy. Just contact the American Radio Relay League at 1-800-326-3942.
Check it out, it's the Terminator. Hey, when'd you get back, huh?
Did you have to shoot anyone? Why are you so distant? Are you not happy to see me?
So what's the deal? You gonna get a job now or what?
Why are you being so jumpy? Put all that stuff behind you, okay?
No one knows what it's like to come back from Iraq or Afghanistan unless they were there. Join other veterans at communityofveterans.org because we know where you're coming from. Brought to you by Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and the Ad Council.
What a fantastic day for baseball it has become. We didn't even think that we were going to be having this contest here today, as early rain today threatened the entire northeast region. It was supposed to rain and have scattered thunderstorms from early this morning around 8 all the way until about 3 p.m. But it flooded Wacona Park because, well, it's Wacona Park.
Well said.
Hey, you too. As we said it in unison. The heart of the order here will dig in the top of the 6th. Mcneil, Chelly, Becker. 0 for 2 is Mcneil. Struck out swinging last time up. First pitch here from Price is up and away, 1-0.
Price is up there in pitch count now. 70 pitches.
Hot shot in the left center field. That's going to dunk down for a base hit. Could it be more? Let's see. Kronk with a throw into second. It's going to be offline. That it's going to be a leadoff double by Ben Mcneil.
Got his pitch right down Broadway, able to sting that one to left in the left center gap. Kyle Kronk tried to run it down and make a accurate throw to second, which he did, but just too much speed by Ben Mcneil to get him out. And so leadoff double for him, and the Bravehearts are in action here in the sixth.
Here's Mcneil now. Here's the pitch, and that one drops low. Good stab there and good block from Fernandez. It's actually 82 pitches now for Price. If he can get out of this inning relatively quickly, he may be out for the next inning. It's a 1-0 count to Chelly. Pitch. Bounces in again. This one, Fernandez scrambles for it. Finally does catch up with it. It's 2-0.
This may be a situation where the runners left on base become a factor for the Suns. This is a tight game, and now we're going to see Chelly advance to first.
Simply an intentional walk. It's the only reason I can think.
Yeah. Didn't see any.
It is going to be an intentional walk. However, it will not be listed as an intentional walk because 2 balls have already been thrown. So that will be a base on balls if I have that rule down correctly. I'll certainly review it. But the entire infield now is going to converse here.
Definitely some throwing now going on in the Pittsfield Suns bullpen.
We've seen a few guys up there over the last inning or two. Again, we're just sort of seeing the fatigue factor begin to set in for Price. He's been solid so far, if not electric. 1 run allowed, 4 hits coming into the inning. Can't ask much more than that of your pitcher. Stop me if you've heard that one before. I feel like we've been saying it all year. That's how good this Suns pitching staff, especially the starting pitching, has been.
Becker tries to bunt. He goes and misses, however. Strike 1.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, this is where those runners left on base begin to factor in for the Suns. You got a 1-1 game here. Now it's the 6th inning. Things are starting to get a little late. And still in a tie when you've had plenty of opportunities to put a lot of runs up, have the Suns.
It's got to be double digits of runners left on base at this point for Pittsfield. 7 hits on the board plus a couple of walks as well.
I'll do some quick math for you here, Colin.
A check swing in the dirt. They're going to appeal. He did not go.
9 runners left on. So very
Just
close,
short.
my friend. Very close.
It's like it's Jake Cordros starting to throw a little bit, warm himself up out there in the bullpen for Pittsfield. There is some throwing going on as well for the Bravehearts.
It's one in between the first and second gap going into right field. They're going to hold up the runner barehanded by Cooney. More than likely would have been gunned down at home. Definitely would have been a close play, but the bases are loaded here for the Bravehearts. Nobody gone.
Yeah, you get into a sticky situation if you're Price. Nobody out. Bases are loaded. Jack Gardner due up. Don't want this game to slip away. Gardner, no home runs on the season. 5 RBIs, came in hitting 180. Just 1 extra base hit in 11 hits.
Foul back behind us. Should say in front of us to the netting. That's Jack Gardner. 0 for 1, a walk back in the second.
It's interesting that you say the name Cordros, Colin. He's been used primarily as a starter for the Suns. He's appeared in 4 games, started 3 of them.
This one again is in the dirt. And the count now is 1 ball, 1 strike. This most certainly will be Alex Price's final inning. As this will be pitch number 90 unless they can somehow pick off all 3 runners. Price the 1-1. That's in there, a called strike. Now 1-2.
look like there's a lot of baseballs being thrown down in the Suns bullpen. More footballs, as that's usually what they do to start before they throw baseballs. But
either that or it would indicate that whoever is down there, Kodros or someone else, is ready to go.
It will be an intentional walk. It was my mistake. 3 balls have to be thrown before it's a base on balls. A swing and miss there from Gardner, and that is out. Number 1.
Big out for Price. Sets up a potential inning-ending double play. Should he be able to induce a ground ball? I've seen Price sort of glance over toward the Pittsfield dugout a couple times here. He knows it's the end as well, but not yet.
Ben Rice, 2 singles, both to center, 1 with an RBI, looking for more.
Just looking at the lineup card this afternoon for the Bravehearts, just from a perspective of what's happened today. You don't want anybody else at the plate right now.
A check swing in the dirt. Don't believe there's an appeal. It's 1-0. A lot of pitches in the dirt. Thomas Bryant, a 3-year, $25 million deal to return to the Washington Wizards. Continuing NBA news. The 1-0. There on the lower outside quadrant of the plate, 1-1.
Still good life on the fastball for Price. That one had some pop to it, even here in the 6th inning.
Rodney Hood, 2 years, $16 million back to the Portland Trailblazers.
Here's a 1-1. That one must have missed high. Looked good over the plate. It's 2-1. So a little bit of news there on Mirotic going back to the EuroLeague, which was one of the surprising moves that we've seen in quite some time. 2-1, high fly ball. Going to third, infield fly roll is in effect. And it is out.
Huge pitch, huge out there from Alex Price. And now just one batter away here from getting out of the inning after having the bases loaded with nobody out. How huge would it be if Alex Price can get out of this monster jam that he's in?
Third baseman Aiden Wild, a single to left his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with a double play. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, called strike 1. Price with the 0-1. Swung on this one, headed over to third. He's going to take it the easy way. The Suns escape the threatening threat of the night. Bases loaded, nobody out, 0 runs with 3 outs. No runs off of 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left. We now head through 5.5 to the bottom of the 6th. It is still 1 apiece with a new pitch in the ballgame for the Bravehearts. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
I have a passion for the environment. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. We monitor commercial vessels, making sure our ports and waterways are safe and clean from oil or other hazardous material. We patrol our fisheries, protect marine wildlife and their habitats. With all we do, it's about protecting America.
Were you born ready to protect America? Learn more at gocoastguard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Massachusetts Broadcasters Association and this station.
Did you know the 3rd leading cause of fire deaths for older adults is cooking? Hi, I'm Rob Neal from the United States Fire Administration with important fire safety tips for seniors. Never leave cooking unattended because a serious fire can start in seconds. Don't wear loose clothing while cooking. Keep towels and pot holders away from the range. Double check the kitchen before you go to bed or leave your home. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
Exercise is
Getting your child home safely
Tap your views together 3 times.
is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
New pitcher in the ballgame here for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. That is right-handed hurler number 39, Cole Chudoba. As we look at Chudoba on the season, only 1 appearance, 1 inning. He is 0-1. 2 hits, 1 of them being a double, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, has a 27 ERA, and only 1 inning of work. Obviously, it's going to be inflated. High fly ball there for Fernandez going out to shallow center field. And Thrasher will collect the out.
We saw Bravehearts first baseman Mcneil stepping a little gingerly in between innings. Good to see him back out there. Glad all is well with him.
Valenti is 1 for 2. Fielder's choice he grounded into to end the 3rd, his last time up. That one is in there for a called strike. Somehow popped in and out of the glove there of Rice. Count is 0-1. Chudoba with a pitch. This one up and away for a ball. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. That one is in there for a called strike, lower outside quadrant. 1-2 is the count.
That one right down the middle of the plate. Valenti not too happy with himself for taking that one.
This one is chopped on the first base line. It will stay fair. And, a bit of trickery there. That's going to be an unassisted out there. Shelley grabbed it, went to tag, then decided to go back to first base. And it was Valenti trying to go around him there. Now, left fielder Kyle Kronk, couple singles, both lined into left, one over the shortstop's head. Hits the lower outside corner against the righty Kronk, that being Chudoba. 0-1 is the count to the left fielder. Here's the pitch. That one is fouled off of the catcher, going back into play.
Kronk does have 1 3-hit game this season. It was against the Westfield Starfires on June 12th here at Wacona Park. Went 3 for 4, had a double and a triple and a single. Obviously, it was 1 hit away from the cycle, that home run. Didn't get it. Did have an RBI in that game as well. 2 for 2 here tonight. Is down quickly 0-2.
Here is the 0-2. This one well low in the dirt, also outside. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 gone. Still 1 apiece. Suns with 7 hits to the Bravehearts, 6 hits and 1 error. The windup from Chudoba and the pitch. Outside, says home plate umpire Kyle Williams. 2 balls and strikes. Here comes the Deuces wild pitch. Skied out to right, lifting foul, and that's going to go out of play.
Got some nice string of clouds settling in along the horizon. Should we get to a point where the sun hangs low in the sky, which we may not. Unlikely that we'll see a sun delay today.
2-2 down the left field line. Fair ball for a base hit. Rounding first is going to be Kronk. Let's see, the throw over to second is cut off.
Wow. Have yourself a day, huh?
Yeah, 3 for 3 with a double and 2 singles, all to left field, no less. Way to pull the ball and pulling some hits.
Well, Johnson out there made a really nice play in left to make that throw, and it looked like it was pretty accurate. And if it wasn't cut off, it might have been a closer play at second base to get Kronk. But Kronk has good speed, so it would have definitely been extremely close. Now the top of the order comes up, and Jack Cooney and the Suns are just one hit away once again from taking a lead for the first time in this one.
Chidoba with the first pitch to the number 1 hitter, Jack Cooney, upstairs 1-0.
Kronk, as I mentioned, now 3 for 3. It's his second 3-hit game of the season.
Long hold check in second. Now the 1-0 is fouled off.
Well, as we've mentioned today, statistically, Cooney has been the Suns' best hitter among qualified batters as far as average is concerned, coming into the game at least, hitting 8 percentage points ahead of Mark Coley.
Here comes the 1-1. That one down the right field line. It's foul, and did they catch it?
I don't know. That was close.
Oh, no, he dropped it. Either way, he gets set with a free baseball. That's not too bad when he paid for a ticket.
Always fun to take home a souvenir like that.
Long hold here by Chidoba. Now finally setting from the stretch, checking second twice. 1-2. High out into center. Thrasher is going to backtrack and backpedal and collect the out. So it remains a 1-1 contest after no runs, 1 double, no errors, and that man left stranded. 6 full, top 7 upcoming. 1-1, Pittsfield and Worcester. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Paul McCartney on behalf of RAD. If you're drinking, you can't drive my car or any car. Remember, if you're partying this holiday season, don't drink and drive. Got it? It's just not worth it. Doesn't make sense. Thank you.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
New pitcher in the ball game here for the Pittsfield Suns is going to be right-handed hurler number 29, Jake Kodros. Going to step in here and toe the rubber for the Pittsfield Suns. As we take a peek at Kodros along the season, he has 3 starts, 4 appearances. He has a 2-1 record with a 6.48 ERA in 16 2/3 innings. He's given up 20 hits, 12 runs, all of them earned, 7 walks to 10 strikeouts. So he's really looking to improve his stat line as well as hold and toe the line for the Suns.
Well, taking a more an in-depth look at that stat line, I was a little curious as to the decision to use him here as a reliever. His first 3 appearances of the year were starts, and that large inflated ERA coming in the 3rd start where he gave up 7 runs over 4 2/3 to the Navigators in a 7-3 loss. Other than that, he's been pretty solid. His first 2 starts, 5 innings pitched both times, 3 and 2 earned runs allowed respectively. And in his last appearance, June 23rd win over the Silver Knights, he pitched 2 innings, no earned runs allowed, 2 hits allowed, and 2 strikeouts. So with the exception of that one bad start, not a poor showing so far from Kodros.
9-1-2 hitters in the 7th. Barry, Thrasher, and then Johnson. Johnson replacing Sessa back in the 5th as a pinch hitter. Wind up, Kodros, and the pitch misses low, 1-0.
Going back to the previous inning for Alex Price, loading the bases on the first 3 batters he faced before retiring the next 3 to end the threat with no runs allowed.
1-0 hits the outside corner, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Really a fantastic inning by Price. Today he's been, as I mentioned earlier, he's been effective, not necessarily fantastic. That inning really sort of sets him up with a nice start today.
Also missing the zone. It's 2-1.
Tremendous poise.
Went the first 6, gave up the 6 hits. Just the 1 run, had 2 walks, also had 4 strikeouts. So we did have a decent outing, indeed.
Out in front of this one, somehow getting a hold of it, but also grabbing that one is Kolumbovic. Throw over to first, but not in time. Great way there for Barry to get his first hit of the ball game with an infield single. Passed everyone, just beat out the throw.
The throw kind of got into the midsection of the second baseman, Kolumbovic. Had a little trouble getting it out, and a nice stretch at first base by Valenti. But getting down the line very quickly was P.J. Barry.
Check on first from Kodros. And the first pitch, high fly ball deep to center field. Going back is Trenkle. This one towards the wall, and no, he did not grab it. The throw will come in, and that will be a double by John Thrasher. Just out of the reach there of the center fielder, Trenkle.
Nice hit by Thrasher. He really put a charge in that one. It looked like it might have had a chance to get out. And Trenkle just unable to run it down in center field. So another tight situation for the Suns here. 2 men in scoring position, nobody out.
The Suns last time they intentionally walked Mac Chelly with runners on second and third, have the bases loaded, nobody out. But looks like you're gonna let Kodros pitch to Trevor Johnson here.
Here's the pitch. Swung on a miss there. Actually, foul tip there from Johnson. The count is 0-1, as on the day he is 0-1. Again, replacing Jacob Sessa as a pinch hitter in the 5th. The entire infield minus the second baseman, Kolumbovic, is in. Now he will come in. The 0-1. Chop foul, and now it's 0-2. Big news, rookie Rubio, 3-year, $51 million deal to the Phoenix Suns.
Yikes.
Devin Booker.
Yikes.
Ayton.
You got a lot there.
Yeah. Could be another struggle in Phoenix, I think, this year.
The 0-2. Chopper headed towards second. Good glove by Kolumbovic. Throw over to first in time.
Very well done there by Kolumbovic. Look back to the runner, make sure he's not heading home. If so, he's going to throw to home, but that look back scared the run over there at third, Barry. So
just what the doctor ordered for the Suns. A quick out without running up any, scoring any runs from second or third. But now Kodros getting into the heart of the order here for the Bravehearts. He's not going to have an easy time of it.
First pitch to Mcneil is a curveball that is called a strike, and a generous call on the outer half.
That's one way to put it.
Well, the curve, it broke a lot. Just
yes, it did.
Broke a little too much. Kodros with the 0-1. This one, well, if that was called a strike, I'm leaving. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. You guys think I'm playing?
Well, no.
I'm not.
I was going to say, I know you're not. That's what makes it funny.
A ball, a strike, 1 out, 2 men on in scoring position. Infield is in, the 1-1. Good block there from Fernandez. Goes right in front of him.
Back-to-back pitches, which Fernandez has wrangled. Nicely done by him to prevent any sort of play at the plate.
Well, the Suns' catching crew has just been outstanding this season. Blocking balls and diving after them and sacrificing their bodies to save runs at least.
Gaudreau's the 2-1. Misses outside, now 3-1.
Again, of the three of them, I would say Fernandez has been perhaps the best defensively. That's not to disparage Jackson Peterson or Matt Malcolm by any means. I think we've seen Fernandez behind the plate a lot in our home games here at Wacona.
Gaudreau's the 3-1 pitch. Fires outside, and that will walk. The bases loaded now for a man who has walked twice, one intentionally, one unintentionally. He is 0 for 1 officially. Here comes Brandon Shalikas to talk things over with Gaudreau.
See a lot of action going on in the Pittsfield Suns bullpen, really. There's a couple of guys standing up, maybe some walking around now, but I don't see pitcher and catcher throwing any baseballs right now, which is interesting because Gaudreau is having a tough time here locating and throwing strikes. He's thrown 13 pitches, 7 strikes, 6 balls so far. He's got the bases filled with 1 out. Mac Jelly, a guy we saw it back in the second inning, hit a high fly ball to center field that nearly got out of here, caught at the wall by Schrenkel, but he's hit a home run here before. The only home run he has this season before the Bravehearts came right here at Wacona Park.
He's got the stroke to make it 5-1 right here. But statistically, he's been a very consistent hitter nonetheless. 283 batting on the year, 15 for 53. So he's not just a power guy.
First pitch to Chelly. Gets away from the catcher in the dirt. That's going to play the runner on a wild pitch.
There's just one of those instances where you really can't do anything about that if you're Andrew Fernandez. Gave it all he could. Ball just scooted by, and it's just an easy run for the Worcester Bravehearts.
So we're at runners on second and third. The infield is in. Pitch is on the inside corner, called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now it wouldn't be a bad time for some defense going for the Suns. Here's a 1-1 from Gaudreau as that one hits in the strike zone for called strike 2.
Jelly didn't agree with that one. He's got a few words for home plate umpire Kyle Williams, but
it should be very few. That one was clear as day. Now the 1-2, cut on and missed and caught. Wasn't sure if that one was fouled off. It was not. That's a strikeout, big strikeout. Now the Suns can reset infield. Now Tyler Becker, shortstop. He's 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a run scored. He sprayed it all over to left and right. He even beat the shift back in the second.
Wind beginning to pick up a little bit here once again at Wacona.
First pitch, swinging. This one a slow roller towards third. The throw over to first is a lob, and that is the out. 5-3. But not before a wild pitch will score the go-ahead run off of 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We now head to stretch time.
Leading us and singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" is the legend himself and Wacona Park's own Banjo Joe. Everybody sing along.
getting your child home safely
Tap your views together 3 times.
is just a click away.
There's no place like home.
But making sure your child is in the right seat is just one of the steps down the road to safer travels.
I don't know how it works.
Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. There's no better way to get home safely. Know for sure that your child is in the right seat.
How can I ever thank you enough?
Get all the facts at safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Caden Trenkel will lead off to 2, 3, 4 hitters in the 7th as we're back to live action. First pitch swinging way outside, but swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Here is the 0-1. Well outside again, but holding off. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1. That one swung on and missed. First strike 2. Chudoba with the pitch. It misses high. Now 2-2. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Billy Madewell, Colin Quinn, Steve O'Brien Jr. on the call. Here at Wacona Park, 2-2 is low to the leadoff hitter in the 7th, number 2 hitter, Caden Trenkel. The Pittsfield Suns currently trailing the visiting Worcester Bravehearts by a score of 2-1. A beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon and evening. Pitch that's swung on and missed for strike 3. Down goes Trenkel, which will bring up the third baseman, Conor Barry.
The third baseman, number 43, Conor Barry.
Conor Barry looking to get this one going for Pittsfield. They have 8 hits on the board, but just 1 run to show for it. Just a perfect guy to really get a rally started.
That pitch, that misses upstairs for a ball. 1-0 here to Conor Barry.
Not a whole lot of pitches in the zone so far this inning for Chudoba. Sort of in the trend of the game we've seen out of Worcester pitching.
Hot shot to third, but just foul.
Still, they've managed to keep the Suns to only 1 run.
Conor Barry has played in now 9 games with the Pittsfield Suns. He's on a 9-game hitting streak.
That one is fouled off of Barry.
He's at least 1 hit in every single one of the games that he's played. He's played pretty much predominantly all home games except for his first game against the National Silver Knights in Nashua. Other than that, he's played 8 straight now home games.
It's a tremendous start to the season for Barry.
So here's the 1-2 from Chudoba. Swung on, inside out swing, pushed to second. Grabbed from Mcneil, threw over to first to Chelly in time. Now 2 gone for Jackson Peterson. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, a single his last time up.
The designated hitter, number 13, Jackson
It's like
Peterson.
Tobias Harris for the Philadelphia 76ers has decided to re-sign, going 5 years, $180 million. As we continue the NBA free agency. NHL free agency opens tomorrow, so excited for that.
That'll be fun.
Sure will.
For sure.
First pitch to Peterson, cut on and miss, strike 1.
A couple of big names already being bounced around, including Phil Kessel.
Yes, sir. Being dealt to the Minnesota Wild.
This one lifted into left, will bounce in for a base hit.
Well, a 2-out rally is never too late. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Bryce Osmond with a chance. Jackson Peterson already does have a stolen base in this one tonight, so who knows?
Also, want to mention back for that Tobias Harris deal, no player option. Here's a pitch, a check swing. The appeal, did he go? They say he did. I mean, his hands went over the plate, but not the bat. But nonetheless, I'm not wearing blue. Instead, I'm wearing red. Runner goes. The pitch outside corner. Throw to second is. Oh, they called him out. Oh, no, they called him out.
We're going to see Gedman come out after that one. I don't see, unless Peterson's hand came off the bag as he slid around, I don't see how that throw beat him.
He did swim around it.
That's a tough call. I thought Peterson was there.
That's very tough. Gedman coming out to argue the play there alongside Jackson Peterson. I really don't think that this one's going to be overruled. Mcneil with a very quick argument. So his hand, we'll say, must have come off. That's the only reason why he is out, and that ends the inning. A great jump by Peterson, but he's caught stealing 2-6. We head now through 7 full to the top of the 8th. Still a 2-1 lead here for the Bravehearts over the Suns. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Give yourself the gift of a comfortable retirement by setting some cash aside for yourself. Saving a little of your monthly income can be as affordable as the average holiday gift. If retirement is near, you'll want to start saving right away. If you're younger, begin saving now, and compound interest will help your retirement funds snowball. A great way to figure out how much you'll need to save for retirement is to learn how much you'll get from Social Security. Do that in minutes at www.socialsecurity.gov/estimator.
So here's my cell phone number, my husband's cell phone number, and here's the number to the grandparents. The number of the restaurant we'll be at, it's just down the block. And I told the neighbors you were here, so if anything happens, anything at all, don't hesitate to call. And what's your cell phone number?
Six, 7, 8 hitters in the 8th as the Pittsfield Suns cannot put a runner in scoring position, caught stealing, with a hand coming off the bag. So instead of runner on second with 2 out, it is nobody on because, well, there's 3 outs. Go to the visiting half of the 8th. Kodros with the first pitch of the inning. High fly ball going out to left. Kronk is trying to get underneath it, but he's going to run out of room. The wind just absolutely pushed that one foul by at least 30 feet. Going to give you a quick trip around the FCBL this inning. The 0-1, little chin music there, gets away. Count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Throwing going on in the Bravehearts bullpen. Look like a lot going on in the Suns bullpen as of right now.
Wind up from Kodros and the 1-1. Holding off the curve. Curves too much. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1. Hits the inside corner, called strike 2-2.
Wondering if the sun is going to play any effect here late in this one, in the top of the 8th inning. The sun delay could be on the prowl, not sure.
Here's a windup and the 2-2. Swung on over to short. Osmond will glove. Throw over to first in time. Got such a great throwing motion.
He does.
Over to first. It's like watching a video game. Ben Rice has had himself a day. He is 2 for 3. RBI single to center in the 2nd, single to center in the 5th. Then popped out an infield fly over to the 3rd baseman. Still a great day there for the catcher.
what would have made it even better if he was able to get a hit in that 6th inning, had the bases loaded, but then he popped out like you mentioned.
Pitch hits the outside corner, called strike, 0-1.
Nonetheless, a guy that doesn't start really every day, as he's got Riley Livingston on the bench today, but gets a start today. He's in his 8th game.
Big swing and miss there from Rice. Count is 0-2.
Making the most of his opportunities, that's for sure. It's interesting. This is his 8th game being played, and
time is called. The umpires are going to convene. Well, we have a quick minute. Clay Thompson, yes, he did agree to a 5-year, $190 million contract with the
here.
Golden State Warriors. They're calling it this early?
That's a surprise, actually.
They're going to bring in both managers. Kristaps Porzingis signed a 5-year, $158 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to ask about a sun delay, but to be honest, it's nowhere close.
And we're going to, looking around the horizon, we have clouds rolling in from the first base side. They'll be covering that sun up in short order.
Just seeing a tweet from Ramona Shelburne that was retweeted by Woj, and saying that the Knicks were hesitant to offer a max contract to Kevin Durant, concerned about his injury and his recovery.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if,
you know why this is why your team hasn't been successful? Because this is why your team hasn't.
And they just lost Kristaps Porzingis too in a trade.
Well,
they're it's going to be another struggling big rebuild, long rebuild. They have RJ Barrett coming in from Duke, but it's just not going to be enough right now.
They're going to convene here. The delay has not officially started yet.
Trying to decide if it's playable. Like Steve mentioned, there's a lot of clouds really starting to roll in here. It's gonna be covered in shade
they can
pretty
hold
soon.
out about 6 more minutes.
Exactly.
This whole thing will be moved. And as Billy mentioned, sun's still very high in the sky compared to some of the games we've seen earlier this year in which it was blinding sun and we didn't get a delay called.
Well, we've seen sun delays called about 7:30 or so during 6:30 games.
Oh, now it's official.
They come. All right.
Officially, as of 7:20, they're going to pull the team off, and we're going to head into a sun delay, and one of the most rarest sun delays that I think I've ever seen here, my years here as a broadcaster at Wacona Park. So we head to a sun delay officially as of 7:20. They convened to check on it first before the delay was actually in effect. But it's an 0-2 count to Ben Rice with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Bravehearts lead the Suns 2-1. We'll be right back with the Pittsfield Suns mid-game show, if you will, during the sun delay here on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Did you know the 3rd leading cause of fire deaths for older adults is cooking? Hi, I'm Rob Neal from the United States Fire Administration with important fire safety tips for seniors. Never leave cooking unattended because a serious fire can start in seconds. Don't wear loose clothing while cooking. Keep towels and pot holders away from the range. Double check the kitchen before you go to bed or leave your home. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
Give yourself the gift of a comfortable retirement by setting some cash aside for yourself. Saving a little of your monthly income can be as affordable as the average holiday gift. If retirement is near, you'll want to start saving right away. If you're younger, begin saving now, and compound interest will help your retirement funds snowball. A great way to figure out how much you'll need to save for retirement is to learn how much you'll get from Social Security. Do that in minutes at www.socialsecurity.gov/estimator.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good. heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Many parents miss the important step of booster seats.
Maybe you better explain things to him.
Booster seats raise your child up so that a safety belt designed for adults will fit and protect them properly.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Hop in, my dear. Oh, thank you.
And like Cinderella, you can live happily ever after.
It's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
The following commercial is sponsored by feedthepig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned.
Nor will we brag about our
Huge selection, enormous variety.
We will offer no contingencies like
See store for details. Legal exclusions apply.
because we simply want to help you spend smarter and save better. Log on to feedthepig.org. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're even famous entertainers. They're teachers.
Okay, class, settle down. Open your book.
They're scientists and astronauts. They're hams. They're 650,000 strong, and they're just like you. Earning your amateur radio license is easy. Just contact the American Radio Relay League at 1-800-326-3942.
Welcome back to Wacona Park as we are in the midst of a sun delay. A very on time for a delay, I must say. Normally, we don't have a sun delay really for quite some time. The sun is hanging up right there. There's some cloud cover coming in. So hopefully this one is going to be under a half hour. We're going to give you a quick trip around the world of sports, what's happening in the FCBL MLB after that.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mcneil. Taking a look at the FCBL, Bristol at North Shore. Bristol, of course, going on that 7-game tear where they won 7 straight until it was snapped last night. That game currently in the bottom of the 8th. Bristol leads the Nabs 5-3. Of course, that game previously knotted at 2, as you heard earlier. Bottom 8, Brockton and Westfield tied at 4. Of course, Mitch D'Onofrio with his league-leading 7th home run. A 3-run shot in the first inning put the Rocks up 3-0 early. Westfield battling back to tie the game at 4. And, of course, as you are currently watching your Pittsfield Suns down 2-1 to the Worcester Bravehearts, we are in a sun delay. But when we come back, it will be the top of the 8th inning. That does it for FCBL action. Now taking a look at some MLB scores. A few games in progress right now. White Sox lead the Twins 4-3 in the top of the 8th. A's up on the Angels 12-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Top 9, Cardinals and Padres knotted at 3. Just underway, the Braves have a 1-0 lead over the New York Mets. That's in the bottom of the 1st. Lots of games gone final. Of course, the Yankees beating the Red Sox 12-8 in the 2nd of the London series. Lots of offense in those 2 games, but the Yanks taking both of them. Indians blank the Orioles 2-0. The Royals beat the Blue Jays 7-6. Reds beat the Cubs 8-6. The Nats beat the Tigers 2-1. Of course, Max Scherzer getting the win and 14 strikeouts in his first game against his former team, that being the Tigers. The Rays beat the Rangers 6-2. Phillies beat the Marlins 13-6. The Astros 6-1 over the Mariners. Brewers beat the Pirates 2-1. Dodgers double up the Rockies 10-5. Giants 10-4 over the D-backs. That is the MLB scoreboard. And, of course, a little bit of all-star game fun while we have the time, and we do have the time. 5 men set to participate in the Home Run Derby will be held on July 8th at Progressive Field. Carlos Santana of the Indians, Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Blue Jays, as Billy mentioned earlier, the youngest player ever to participate in the Home Run Derby at 20 years old. The shoe-in for the Derby, Christian Yelich of the Brewers, Pete Alonso and Josh Bell rounding out that 5. as well as the All-Star Game pitchers and reserves being announced. We'll take a look at that real quick. For the American League, here is your complete roster. Starting for the AL, Gary Sanchez at catcher, Carlos Santana first base, DJ LeMahieu at second, Alex Bregman at third, Jorge Polanco the shortstop, Mike Trout, George Springer, Michael Brantley in the outfield, Hunter Pence is the DH. For the reserves, James McCann, Jose Abreu, Daniel Vogelbach, Tommy LaStella, Matt Chapman, Francisco Lindor, Mookie Betts, Joey Gallo, Austin Meadows, Whit Merrifield, and J.D. Martinez. And pitching for the AL, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito, Shane Green, Brad Hand, John Means, Mike Minor, Charlie Morton, Jake Odorizzi, Ryan Presley, Marcus Stroman, and Justin Verlander. For the National League, your starters, Wilson Contreras at catcher, Freddie Freeman at first, Ketel Marte at second base, Nolan Arenado at third, Javier Baez, the shortstop, Christian Yelich, Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna Jr. in the outfield. Your reserves, Yasmani Grandal, JT Realmuto, Pete Alonso, Josh Bell, Mike Moustakas, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rendon, Paul DeJong, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, David Dahl, Jeff McNeil, and the pitchers, Sandy Alcantara, Walker Buehler, Luis Castillo, Jacob deGrom, Zach Greinke, Josh Hader, Clayton Kershaw, Hyunjin Ryu, Max Scherzer, Will Smith, Mike Soroka, and Kirby Yates. That is your look around the FCBL and the MLB. Boys, what do we have for fun NBA free agency stuff?
Trevor Ariza signing a 2-year, $25 million contract with the Sacramento Kings. Thad Young, that's Thaddeus Young, 3 years, $41 million with the Bulls. Oh?
Yikes. I just don't understand why some players like Thaddeus Young with a lot of age to him, his career is probably winding down pretty soon, wants to go to a young team that's not going to be in contention anytime.
I thought you were going to say an overblown contract let's say Nicholas Batum.
That is where I thought you were going.
There you
with
go.
That, yes.
Yeah, but
Mike Scott, 2-year, $9.8 million, returning to the 76ers. And right now, I think that's all that I got for ones that we have not currently have done.
I don't think I have anything
I did say
else.
Klay Thompson did sign the max with Golden State. 5 years, $190.
Still waiting on a couple of big names to go, like Al Horford. Not sure if we're gonna
And
be hearing
Kawhi Leonard is going to be up there as well. Jeremy Lamb, you already said. DeMar Carroll, 2-year, $13 million with San Antonio.
Wow. Okay.
Nerlens Noel agreeing to a deal to return to the Thunder, unspecified on the contract thus far. Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, D'Angelo Russell, Al Horford, and DeMarcus Cousins, the top 5 free agents right now. You also have Danny Green, Patrick Beverly, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, as some of the remaining top 30 candidates.
Still plenty of names out there.
There is, but what day in the year is more crazy than NBA free agency? I will say this: if Kawhi Leonard does sign with, let's say, I don't know, a certain Los Angeles team that has LeBron James on it, just
Anthony
like
Davis.
yes, and Anthony Davis. If he signs there, it's going to be terrible for the league. I say terrible because, well, you've had some ratings drop here and there because you've had dynasties. But again, people do like dynasties, but this is going to be the most overpowered lineup ever. Really, ever. You have 3 of the top 5 players in the game right now on the same team.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. You're right. I don't know what else to say about that.
Golden
That's
State's
just
going to
what
be
it
in the
is.
playoff mix, but they're not going to be anywhere near close to a
Well,
contender.
they're going to be without Klay Thompson for most of the year. Hopefully he gets back by March or April and get some games under his belt before the playoffs, but they'll definitely be in there. Stephen Curry is just too good to not even make the playoffs. Draymond Green, too. He does some things and other things he doesn't do as well. But, yeah, Golden State will be right up there. Houston, obviously, with James Harden, Chris Paul. Did they feud or did they not feud?
Oh, I
during
totally
the
forgot.
season?
It's unsalvageable. relationship.
Yeah.
So
is that true though? Because I don't know how true that is.
if it is true, Chris Paul is going to be the one that's touchable, not
not
not James Harden.
Absolutely.
With the age of Chris Paul, he'd be, let's say, shipped out to a younger team.
Definitely.
He could be shipped out to well, if they wanted to, they could ship him out to Philly, but I doubt that they would give someone up like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I just saw Ben Simmons is working to get a extension too, so I don't think that would happen.
What, an extension?
No, Chris Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see anything else right now for free agency. I think we touched upon pretty much everything. Said that the Knicks would not offer the max contract to Kevin Durant because they're concerned about the injury that Durant suffered with the Warriors in the playoffs this season.
And I don't know. I don't know about that one. You're really going to pass up a player of that caliber?
Right.
Went for a struggling.
I don't know. I bet he wouldn't even sign there, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
6 weeks ago, he would have.
Yeah, and then the draft lottery came out, and there goes that.
I will say this. It's an
downhill.
Achilles injury. It's devastating. And I don't think there's one player that can be named that had an Achilles injury and came back the same player.
No, look at anybody.
Kobe.
Anybody?
No.
Anybody.
Look at
Paul George. I mean, Paul George is...
DeMarcus Cousins. No.
Didn't Paul George have an Achilles?
No, he had a leg fracture from USA Basketball. That wasn't
That's what Gordon Hayward had too, right?
Almost the exact
Yeah.
same, except for Gordon Hayward, his was a dislocated ankle as well as a broken ankle. For
man.
For him, though, it was just a broken leg that it was completely shattered, both of them. Really nothing else in the world of basketball right now.
I don't see anything else. I see that a couple of people are not too happy about going back to the MLB, not too happy about Xander Bogaerts not even making the roster whatsoever. He leads the American
There's going to
League.
be injuries. You look at Hunter Pence, who's on the IL right now. So there's always replacements. There's always snubs. That's because the MLB has too much.
That's
too much high-powered offense right now.
There's a reason why a snub is a thing, because it happens
every year,
quite often in really pretty much every major sport.
Yeah,
very true.
But with Mookie Betts hitting 260, I'm kind of surprised that he's hitting a little over 260. But
it's definitely been an off year.
I'm surprised he made it, to be honest. JD Martinez has played really consistently, hitting just about 300. Rafael Devers is having a great season. He didn't make it.
I was expecting that. He's going to be the next great Red Sox player.
He is.
I'm a Yankees fan. I'm saying that.
Raffy Big Scoops.
Yep. I don't know. Other than that, the Red Sox pitching has just been.
It's not that good.
Just terrible.
Not very good.
It's just an off year for Boston in general.
Yeah. Nobody from the
really.
pitching staff has made the All-Star game.
I mean, to be fair, if this is technically the first major sport of the year, so I mean, to call it an off year so far, I guess that's accurate. The one sport we have gotten to see so far for the city of Boston and the New England area has not gone to our liking, but I think in general it's been a pretty great year otherwise, calendar year.
It's really tough here for everything, but you look at the Yankees right now, they're definitely in a high prowess state.
Adding Encarnacion to the Yankees was huge.
I didn't even realize that until about a week after it happened, because I've been so caught up in Suns baseball.
I was going to tell you about it on the air, but I figured you already knew. So,
yeah,
back when it happened.
He's a great addition. They just have a lineup 1 through 9 that's just top of the league, leading off with LeMahieu, and then just continuing on from there. Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Luke Voigt, Didi Gregorius, I don't need to go on and on because I don't like to say those names. 'Cause that's it.
Hey, no.
And by the way, that's Sir Didi Gregorius.
Yep. I mean, they're just a team to be reckoned with, and if the Red Sox don't turn it around soon, then they might not even make the playoffs because the wild card is pretty bunched up right now with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Texas Rangers. And
I will say, when it was maybe a week or two ago, it was a Red Sox Twins series,
and I went to 18 innings and
Yep,
stayed up till 2 in the morning.
That's
and
the
they
one.
lost.
That's the one. And a certain Jared Carabas, I think he's a Barstool employee, huge Red Sox fan, purports to be an impartial baseball writer, and his Twitter is anything but.
Right.
Anyway, he tweets after that series, man, a Red Sox Twins ALCS would be wild.
Yikes.
And, I didn't want to be that guy as a Red Sox fan myself. And certainly I didn't want to be a Twitter troll by any means against someone I really like. But it's bold of him to assume the Red Sox will make the playoffs at all. Yes. Go ahead,
News
Billy.
where the Knicks finally sign
finally.
a free agent.
Hey.
About time.
Julius Randle.
Hey. They're on the board.
Yikes.
They're on a board.
Yeah, A board. That's right.
Yeah, that's it pretty much. A lot of teams right now, or I should say a lot of fans poking fun at James Dolan and the Knicks organization. But what are you going to do? 3 years, $63 million with the Knicks now.
Well, good for him. He gets money and gets to play for the worst team in the NBA.
Shots fired?
Or one of the worst.
No, you already said it.
I mean,
yeah, we know what you mean. You already said it.
There's some questionable teams out there, but I don't know. NBA season is going to be interesting once all the free agents are announced.
Now,
Brooklyn Nets are going to be someone to play basketball with again. I mean, they lost D'Angelo Russell, but they're going to get Kyrie. And we know what Kyrie can do. We know how badly he can hurt a franchise or how great he can bring a franchise to NBA championships, what they did with the Cavs. I don't know. We'll see.
He was instrumental in that Cavs championship run.
He was. And then he came over to the Celtics and
did
that's it.
Not
bye. See you.
much. Well, we can't win every championship every year.
Who's we?
I mean, all right,
Boston.
Billy. I will have
Thanks.
you know. I will have you know.
You're not on the court.
That I consider myself a part of Red Sox Nation. Of the
But
Patriots
you're part of the
fandom.
Red Sox Nation, but you're not part of the Red Sox organization. There's a difference. That's why you'll never say, we, the Pittsfield Suns. I'm just a broadcaster. I'm not there on the field. I definitely don't have the shape for it, nor the GPA. Absolutely no way. Oh, boy.
Boston could, if the Celtics put on a better run than they did in the playoffs, the before Boston sports definitely could have swept up for championships.
Oh, totally. I was expecting it to happen.
Really? I wasn't expecting the Celtics to do it. I honestly, going into playoffs, I wasn't expecting the Bruins to do it either because the Tampa Bay Lightning were a team and then they got broomed.
If I believe it was 47% of you guys are familiar with the NHL bracket thing, right?
Yep.
You go online, make a bracket, try to beat your friends or whatever. I believe it was something around 47% of people selected the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
No other team broke 10%. And to be honest, from my perspective, at the start of the playoffs, I said you are out of your mind if you are picking anybody but Tampa Bay to win that cup. Well, we can see how well that worked out.
Well, I would be out of my mind because I did a bracket and I didn't pick the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Who'd you pick?
I picked the San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
Against the Boston Bruins.
Okay.
So I was 1 for 2.
Gonna do that to Jumbo Joe?
I was. I thought they had it this year. I actually had them. My bracket was decent. I had the St. Louis Blues and the San Jose Sharks in the Western Conference Finals, and I had the Bruins in the Eastern Conference Finals, which happened. I obviously didn't have Carolina. I think I had I think I had Pittsburgh just because.
I will say I forgot to make a bracket upon the initial wave.
Right.
When the second wave happened, where it was like, hey, everybody's brackets got
Yeah,
NHL.
yeah, okay.
NHL
Everyone's
essentially came out
busted.
and said everybody's bracket got
Yeah.
busted when Tampa Bay got
Yeah.
swept. So you want to do it again, guys? And I said, okay, sure, I'll pitch in this time.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I had the Bruins and Blues in the Stanley Cup final.
There you
I
go.
had the Bruins winning it in 6 games because the Blues felt like that team that was hot enough to overcome the fact that they weren't the most skilled team in the field, but not quite enough to take them all the way.
Let me put this in baseball perspective. You were considering the St. Louis Blues as the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Bruins as the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay, yeah. I can get down with that.
Back in 2008.
Yeah, no, I know.
That's what I'm referring to.
I remember. That was a
11 years ago.
Fun
Good
year?
God, it's been that long.
I know. I hear you, man.
I'm getting old.
Married. We all are, dude.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes is right.
I saw a tweet the other day that said, every 18, 19, 20, all the years leading up to 21, you're like, oh boy, I can't wait to turn 21.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you
like,
turn
no,
and then
wait,
and then you
stop.
turn
Go back.
22 and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I am getting up there. But yeah, I had the Bruins and Blues in the Stanley Cup final. I thought the Avs were going to be. They put down Calgary pretty nonchalantly,
right?
And I thought they were going to have enough juice to get them to the conference finals. Same thing with the New York Islanders beating up on Pittsburgh. I didn't see Carolina.
No, I didn't.
I didn't see Carolina getting out of the first round, let alone getting to the ECF. But hey, that's why everybody's brackets got busted.
Got it.
Tampa Bay got knocked out. Calgary got knocked. I think Calgary was the second highest.
Really?
The second highest. I mean, they were technically the second best team in the league that year.
Yeah,
They were the
that's
number
true.
2 seed, as
Yep.
it were.
Yep.
Overall.
Well, to no avail. They just lost their goalie too, Mike Smith, going to the Oilers.
I know. What a weird career it's been for that guy.
Hasn't it? Yeah, a full what was it like? 13 years in Arizona, Phoenix.
Long time.
Was there for a while, and then decided to go to Calgary. A couple of years. Didn't really work out for him too much. I mean, he had his bright spots, had his good moments, and had his bad moments in Calgary.
His tail end at with the Coyotes weren't all that great,
right?
Anyway,
Well, that team was struggling at the point that he was leaving too.
I'm pretty sure that team has struggled always. There was like 1 year where they were the 5 seed, back when it was the old playoff format of just top 8 teams in the conference. Which personally I prefer that, but oh well, I thought Nashville was going to make it farther than they did. Nashville's always been my number 2 team since I started following hockey, and I was elated when they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago. Or was it last year? No, 2 years ago, because they beat Washington beat the Golden Knights.
Yep.
But yeah, I was very excited for them, and they just felt like too talented a team to not get further than they did.
The Predators, you saying, or
yeah, this year.
Oh, this year.
Yes, this year.
They lost to Dallas and then second round.
Yep, that's correct.
Who did they beat in the first round?
Dude,
I have a
don't
tweet.
even remember. Okay, all right. What do you got?
Oh boy,
What do you got?
Kawhi Leonard.
Oh boy, all right. Turn it over
hit
to
it.
you, Mr. Madewell.
It's a tweet by the Big Three, though, so it's not actually
Oh,
NBA.
it's like what?
Way to tease,
Kawhi
man.
Leonard, really? What did it say?
The Big Three. Someone in the Big Three tweeted about it, about maybe Kawhi Leonard going to the Big Three.
Oh, okay.
Ice Cube, 3-on-3 basketball. There we go. Think Steven Jackson, that league.
Yeah. Well, still delayed here. It's gonna be a little while still.
Yeah.
The sun is this right now would probably be the time where a sun delay would actually be
Yeah,
called
really.
in
I
like
love
a
Twitter.
6:30 game. Or so.
Breaking news: Woj reports that New York Knicks have signed Calvin Cambridge from Like Mike to a max deal. I'm sorry, that's just
That's
absolutely
great. I
hilarious.
love that. I love it.
Oh boy.
While we're here, take a little stroll around the FCBL once again. Taking a look at the two games besides this one in play. All tight games today. Bristol currently leading the North Shore Navigators 5-3. Again, Bristol had a 7-game win streak going into last night when they had it broken at 7. But they are looking to get back in the win column tonight again, up 5-3. Top 9 there, the game being played at the Navigators. So Bristol with one last chance to tack on some runs before they head into the bottom of the inning. And in the bottom of the 9th in Westfield, Brockton and Westfield both with 4 runs to their name. That one nodded at 4. So Westfield looking to walk off and win their 3rd straight. They are still in the basement of the FCBL, but they have won back-to-back games. The 3-7 in their last 10, 8-18 overall.
Well, we can say this, that one thing is guaranteed that comes out of tonight's game here between the Bravehearts and the Pittsfield Suns is that the Pittsfield Suns will remain in first place no matter what.
They will. Yes, they will.
No matter what the result. Brockton Rocks, who have an off day today, are 1.5 back. The North Shore Navigators, no matter a win or a loss, if they were to win that game, they'd just be 1 back if the Pittsfield Suns were to lose.
So North Shore and Brockton looking to keep from slipping further back in the standings.
Right. We look ahead to.
Also got a quick
ahead.
word.
Yeah,
Clay
go
Thompson has not officially signed a contract
okay.
yet.
Oh, all
Clay
right.
Thompson's still out there, still on the board.
Alrighty.
All right. So we look ahead to tomorrow's games while we have a chance. I know we personally have an off day, but the Pittsfield Suns do not have an off day. It's going to be a double header in North Shores. The Bravehearts, these same Bravehearts as you're watching, will head to Fraser Field, take on the Navigators. First pitch will be at 11 a.m. and then a double header that will follow at 4:15 p.m. The Pittsfield Suns will head over to Brockton and take on the Rocks in a huge game, especially if the Suns fall in this one. So first place would be up for grabs yet again. The Brockton Rocks and the Pittsfield Suns will battle it out at 6:30 p.m. from Brockton, and the Nashua Silver Knights will get back in action. They'll be taking on the Bristol Blues at 7 o'clock at Muzzy Field.
And again, just to reiterate this, if it hasn't already been mentioned, this is the longest stretch of games for the Suns this season. 12 straight days with games.
Yeah.
And that
It's
is
a lot.
the longest stretch. But
It's a lot.
they're going to get a big break because the All-Star break is going to be happening on July 16th. Then the 17th, 18th, and 19th, the Suns have off. And we only have one home game that entire week, which is the All-Star game.
So unfortunately, we're going to be out of the booth for a little while, but it'll be nice for the Suns that they're going to get that time off.
Right. The Suns' next off day looks like is July 3rd, which is the day before the 4th of July, where maybe some fireworks will be happening here. Actually, we're guaranteed to have some fireworks on July 4th here. Is that correct?
Well, unless there's a tornado.
That'll be a fun game. 4th of July, always a big event here in Pittsfield for the Suns and other teams who have occupied this ballpark in the past.
That'll be the North Shore Navigators coming to town on the 4th, but before that, we'll have a game on the 2nd when the Bristol Blues come into town.
Sir.
Yeah, again, it'll be the 3rd meeting here at Wacona Park against the Bristol Blues.
And you're going to see about 5,000 people here at this ballpark.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so packed.
If you want me to give you the official record, just give me about a minute.
All righty. Yeah, no, it's the 4th of July is a great time here at Wacona. It's so much fun to come out and see a ball game here. You get to hang around for the fireworks afterward. That's traditionally been when I have been here in the past. I was going to mention it earlier in the broadcast, talking about Mr. Barbarata, talking about how much talent is on this team. My knowledge of Pittsfield Suns rosters of yore is limited to, the 2 or 3 games a year that I would come to, but it's always been, 4th of July has always been that one. It's great fun. It's great, great way to spend your summer.
So the record was the record for the franchise.
Yep.
I'm speaking of.
Yep.
The franchise record since 2012, and I'll say this includes the Pittsfield Colonials of 2011. I can look that up, but that'll take me forever. Pittsfield Suns record for 4th of July attendance was 5,582.
Wow.
And to be honest, if the weather upholds and it is perfect and it is okay and it's fine, expect that number, maybe even with the Pittsfield Suns, with the All-Star game coming into town, with the Pittsfield Suns currently in first place, maybe expect a couple more. May I dare say even stretching towards maybe 6,000.
That's great.
It's a stretch, but you're not tearing any muscles with that stretch.
Now, here's a question for you, Billy, as you would probably know this.
All right.
The All-Star game, is there anything on the line with that, or is it just
no, it's
to have some fun?
It's an exhibition. For those of you who have not been to an All-Star game, this is what happens during the day. The players sign up around, let's say, 10, 11 o'clock. The Scout Day really starts, I believe, like around 1-ish. The Scout Day is for every single All-Star player. There is a exhibition for scouts from around the MLB. They go around to each and every league, bounce around, go with the All-Star Showcase here. The Scout Day, they do pitching, they do fielding, they do running, they do hitting. There's a lot that they do. At the end of that, there's a bit of a break, then home run derby, and then maybe about a 15-minute break, and then you go into the All-Star game where there's going to be so many defensive changes as well as pitching changes.
Great, man.
You guys are going to need probably 3 of those for each team.
I believe it.
Now, it has not been announced what the teams are going to be. In Bristol last year, there was a different, or not Bristol, excuse me. No, Nashville. There was 2 teams for 2 famous former Major League players, Campanella, and I'm unfortunately forgetting the other. I've just had so much baseball in my mind, it's overloaded my system. But they had 2 separate teams. In the past, when there was enough teams, you did East versus West, Massachusetts versus New England. You've had something like that. But with 7 teams in this league, you're going to see maybe, just maybe, some old school jerseys potentially.
Oh,
and
how
teams.
cool would that be?
I'm talking about maybe potentially, again, this is unconfirmed, don't worry, the Pittsfield Electrics versus the Pittsfield Hillies. We just don't know. It's just undetermined at this point in time. I would love to see something like the Pittsfield Mets versus the Pittsfield Cubs, but due to trademarks, you might not see that.
Yeah.
It's going to be very tough to see. The umpires are going to come back onto the field, at least trying to assess the situation. But, this has been an absolute long one.
Just heard our good PA man, Mike Heck, announcing that play will resume shortly.
Under 5 minutes, he said. So
about 8 o'clock.
Anytime.
It officially started at 7:20.
Wow.
They were conversing about it, brought the managers in. Then they assessed it. Then they went to the sun delay. Otherwise, we'd say it started at 7:15. No, it started at 7:20. It's not my first rodeo with sun delays.
It's our longest sun delay of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but nowhere by far.
No.
The longest ever.
Right.
Suns had an hour and 8 minutes.
Wow. How did that happen? Do you remember that?
Yeah, really.
I believe it was a similar situation, but you can't see where the sun is right now for those of you watching. But for you guys, do you see that lip of trees?
Yeah. Yep.
Where 374, and then to the left of that light pole?
Yeah.
Right above that, there's that tree lip. That is where the sun delay happened. The sun just stayed there.
Ooh.
But there has also been a rare occurrence where we've had 2 separate sun delays in one baseball game.
Oh, fun.
That was back in, I believe, 2016. It was because we had cloud cover.
Oh, yep, makes sense.
Where we had it was 12-minute sun delay, then a 20. I want to say 24. I might be off. I've been probably I'm probably close to 50 sun delays over my career. So again, not my first rodeo.
Right.
I could track back. It'd be hard to, but I could. It's just going to be really hard to go that far back. But definitely countless sun delays. So again, for those of you just joining, we are in the midst of a sun delay, the only active ballpark in the world that has this issue. Where, well, as you can see, the sun is in your camera view. Yeah, that's the exact same thing for the catcher, batter, and home plate umpire. The delay is about to end within about 5 minutes or so. Any further news on NBA?
I've got nothing. We pretty much got everything. Yeah, I have no new news as of right now, but I'm sure as the days go on, we'll have more. Definitely on Tuesday for sure. Different signings and things, but I don't have any NBA things right now. Not at all. Not at all. I just still find it hilarious that the Knicks wouldn't offer max to Kevin Durant.
It makes sense. It does. A torn Achilles. I'll be honest. I too would be hesitant, even though it is Kevin Durant, who, if he did not have the injury, would have been the best player in NBA, and instead it's still LeBron James. It's just tough. Well, the sun is dissipated. They're just waiting right now to kick this contest back off again.
Starting to retake the field here. Jake Cordros looks like he's going to come back out, even though it's been 40-plus minutes since he's thrown his last pitch. But we'll see how that goes. It's 1 out in the inning. 2 strikes on the batter. Just a quick update around the FCBL because I'm looking at the live tweets.
Yes, do it.
The Brockton Rocks have taken the 5-4 lead over the Westfield Starfires on a bases-loaded walk.
We've seen that today.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, we have.
With 2 outs in the inning. So
that's rough.
Oh, I love this song.
Oh.
You can ask my wife about this. I could sing this entire song, just not right now because my throat is not in the best spot.
On your
wedding night? Yes.
Oh no, I was gonna say on what you just said there, Colin. After that, Tommy Kretzler with a 2-run bases, not bases clearing, but a 2-run single. Now Brockton leads it 7-4 in the top of the 10th.
Oh boy.
So Westfield with their work cut out for them. Last gasp for the Navigators. It's 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Now, coming back to the action here at Wacona, I was going to wait to bring it up until, well, now. So here we go. Suns offense has not had it tonight. 9 hits, but a lot of men left on base. They've been unable to solve the pitching of the Worcester Bravehearts. Got to wonder if this break in the action is going to give them some kind of spark. We've seen it happen before. Not often because we haven't had many sun delays this year, but we've seen it happen before. So only time will tell.
And the big issue for the Suns right now, as again, it's still top of the 8th. There's 1 out, 2 strikes, no balls on Ben Rice. But look at the scoreboard: 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the visiting Worcester Bravehearts. But an uneasy-looking 1 run on 9 hits and no errors. 1 run on 9 hits.
Reminds us of a certain 4-3 loss of recent times. That's all I'll say.
No, it's not even that. The Suns scored 3 runs off 9 hits, but to score only 1 run on 9 hits, that's your definition of selective hitting. It is.
Yep.
True to the core. Look it up in the dictionary.
It's just not putting it together, really. The Suns just haven't been able to get runners or they get runners in scoring position, but then they just can't get the batters to knock them in for an RBI. I don't know.
All right, as one of the best songs ever is finalized, we now resume play, or at least attempt to do so, following the sun delay. Again, Ben Rice at the plate. 2 strikes to count. Jake Codros waiting about 40 minutes. Time is called. Shaking off a sign, now nodding. Here's a windup. The 0-2 is in the dirt. Play resumes at 8:02 for the longest sun delay of the season, 42 minutes.
Sun has set nicely below the tree line now.
1-2, swung on, lifted into left field. Going back is Kronk. And near the wall, he's going to make the grab. About 5 more feet, and that would have been a homer. Instead, it's allowed out.
Didn't really look like it had that much distance off the crack. Looked like it might have even go foul, but nice run down by Kronk. Not too much of a high-pressure scenario here, so nonetheless, always better to have an out than a base hit. Assuming you're playing defense, of course.
Aiden Wild. First pitch bluff bunting for low and away for a ball 1-0. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Billy Madewell, Steve O'Brien Jr., Colin Quinn, fresh off the sun delay of 42 minutes. Oh, a big swing and miss there from Wild. There's 2 outs. Nobody on. It's a 1-1 count to Aiden Wild in the top of the 8th as the visiting Worcester Bravehearts have a 2-1 lead over the Pittsfield Suns. Here is the 1-1. That one bounces in for a ball, now 2-1. And it will be interesting to see if Cole Chudoba will come back out, as he has been waiting for well over 42 minutes.
Close to an hour at this point. Probably about 50 minutes or so. There is action going on in the Worcester Bravehearts bullpen.
He did go with the swing on the check swing. The count now is 2-2. Codros, the 2-2. Low and away for a ball. Now the count is full, 3-2. Codros with the payoff. Swung on a high fly ball to deep left center field. Kronk and Trenkel going to chase, and this one's going to drop. They're going to throw in to the cutoff man, and that is going to be a 2-out double by Aiden Wild.
Really nice piece of hitting there by Aiden Wild. Off of the sun delay here, it's easy to just kind of sit back and relax and really lose your, I don't know what to say, momentum really towards the game or what have you, but he's able to get a good ride on that ball and close to hitting it out.
It's back-to-back hits, or batters, that is, who have gotten good contact against Codros.
Pitches loaded to P.J. Barry, an infield singles last time up. He's 1 for 3. He led off last inning, the 7th, and he scored the go-ahead run off a wild pitch. Check on second, and the 1-0. This is low and away for ball 2 now.
Quick little FCBL update. We've gone final. Bristol at North Shore, 5-3. The Blues win that game. Brockton has tacked on another, and they lead the Westfield Starfires 8-4 in the bottom of the 10th. Westfield with one last chance to score 4 or 5 and change their fate.
2-0, high fly ball, foul towards third, going to chase his Barry, and this is going to be chased out of the ballpark. It's foul ball 2-1.
It's like the Bravehearts had Jacob Barker warming in the bullpen, but he's since stopped. Might be ready to come into the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see. But Codros has to get out of this one first.
Check on second, the 2-1. Curveball and a beauty in there, called strike. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone, a runner on second.
Yes, sir. That was an excellent pitch by Codros. Off speed. Wild laid off it, but hits the zone.
Check on second twice now. The Deuce's wild pitch. Oh, that hits him on a breaking ball. Now runners on first and second.
If you're Pittsfield, you've got to hold on to this one here. Offense has had enough trouble getting it going tonight as it is. You don't need them facing down any more than a 1-run deficit in these last 2 innings.
John Thrasher, a double to deep left center field last time up. He is 1 for 4.
Yes, sir, that double missed a home run by, well, not much.
Pitch misses low and outside for a ball, 1-0. Kodros from the stretch. Peak second twice and the 1-0. Misses low and away, now 2-0. A lot of balls thrown here from Kudros since coming back.
Two-0 count now. Really gotta throw your strikes if you're Kudros. So Mormon going up now in the Suns bullpen.
2-0 again misses low, and it's 3-0.
Suns, Brody Altier out there starting to get loose. Westfield Starfires lead off the bottom of the 10th with a solo shot.
Bringing the home run derby early, possibly.
Not dead yet.
3-0 misses off the outside corner low. A 4-pitch walk. And here comes Shalikas. Any other news happening around the league?
That's the only other game going on besides us, because the Navigators and the Blues, so they finalized. That's about it.
Any NBA news? It's tough, I know.
I don't think so. I don't see anything. NHL, Brett Connolly looking like he's going to sign with the Florida Panthers after having a heck of a time with the Washington Capitals, winning a Stanley Cup, and also had a cup of coffee with the Boston Bruins for a little while there, maybe a year or two. But
I'm surprised you didn't say a cup of tea, Boston Tea Party. Oh, no, coffee, dunks, I get it.
It's a Massachusetts thing, New England thing.
So I will say, having won that game over North Shore, Bristol leapfrogs them in the standings. Bristol now sitting in 3rd place, 2 games currently behind the Pittsfield Suns, half game behind the Brockton Rocks. North Shore now sits in 4th place, 2.5 games out of 1st.
So the bases are loaded here for Trevor Johnson. First pitch hits the outside corner, called strike 0-1. You have Wild on 3rd, Barry on 2nd, Thrasher on 1st. Bases are loaded with 2 outs. Let's see how Kudros can potentially get out of the jam here. Here is the 0-1. Swung on over the pitcher's head, goes into center field, almost falling down there was Kudros. The center fielder, Trenkle, will throw in, but that's an RBI single. Make it 2 RBI there for Trevor Johnson. And now it is the Bravehearts who double their score. It's 4-1.
It's a good piece of hitting there by Trevor Johnson. Smacked it right back where it came from. But you can now tell that the sun delay really played a little bit of effect on Kudros. And an interesting decision to let him come back out here for the rest of the 8th inning.
Ben Mcneil will try to tack on to the lead here in the later innings. Ben Mcneil 1 for 3 with a double and a walk his last time's up. Curve in there, called strike. Kudros sets from the stretch. Runner on first goes. The pitch is low and away. A bluff throw. A throw over to third. A tag. Not in time. So it'll be a ball and a stolen base there for Johnson.
That was a good tag by Barry. He got that one down quickly as he needed to, but not far enough off the bag was Thrasher.
Here's the 1-1. Misses low and away, now 2-1. Boudreaux's trying to rebound here. 2-1. Swung on going into right, but right there taking 5 steps in is Cooney. That'll end the inning, but not before a lengthy sun delay, as well as 2 runs coming in off the bat of Trevor Johnson. Off 2 total hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We now head through 7.5 to the bottom of the 8th, with the Pittsfield Suns trailing the Bravehearts by a score of 4-1. We're going to listen in and have you listen to the crowd sing Sweet Caroline.
Now pitching for the Bravehearts from Seminole State, number 19, Jacob Barker.
So the new pitcher in the ball game will be number 19, Jacob Barker. And going to take a peek at Barker. A lot of games played here for him. He's 1-2 with a 5.28 ERA. 7 appearances, 2 starts. He's thrown 15 in a third innings, given up 15 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 7 walks to 13 strikeouts. So really, it's just the earned runs that look bad. Everything else, 7 walks to 13 strikeouts is pretty respectable. But for 7 appearances, 2 starts, 15 and a third, it's a pretty low innings pitch count, at least per appearance on average. And that will put Cole Chidoba, I believe that will have him in line for the win right now.
Leading off for the Suns, the shortstop, number 19, Bryce Osmond.
Interesting. Yeah. Switch jerseys in between games.
I mean, I recognize that frame. That is Bryce Osmond.
Yes. That I don't know what to do. Osmond had a 0-2 count before Peterson was caught stealing at the bottom of the 7th. Pitch runs inside for a ball, 1-0.
Taking a glance at some FCBL action, the Starfires have pushed across 2 runs so far in the top of the 10th. A solo home run for Andrew Ciccarelli. And Danny Crossan with an RBI hit.
2-0 hits the inside corner, now 2-1.
For the Starfires, they will not go quietly. It's 8-6. Brockton in the top of the 10th. Still nobody out. 2 runners on for the Starfires.
That slaps the lower outside corner with some force there. Rice able to make sure the pop is heard there from Barker.
Runners on second and third, no outs for Westfield. Wow. They are making a run for it here in the 10th.
Looking to make it 3 straight wins are the Starfires.
That one's fouled back.
Meanwhile, here at Wacona, the Suns with a tall task in front of them, now down 3. Will not be easy for them in these last 2 innings, assuming we see 2.
Two, high drive down the left field line, but foul. Caught on a miss for strike 3 on the 2-2 pitch. Not able to grab the contact, that being Osmond. So that'll be Jack Klumovic. He's 1 for 3. His hit came all the way back in the second with a run scored. This is in there, called strike 0-1.
So after a pass ball, advanced runners to second and third. Intentional walk loads the bases. Starfires looking to take a walk-off win against the Brockton Rocks.
The 0-1 fooled on the pitch. He swings and misses 0-2.
Bats have been relatively quiet for the Pittsfield Suns here in the later innings.
Pitches outside, 1-2.
Kyle Kronk with a 3 for 3 night. He's really the only Pittsfield Suns player that's been a guy that you can rely on tonight.
The 1-2 swung on, but a line drive right there to Chelly. So now bring up the catcher number 8, Andrew Fernandez. He's 0 for 3. Ton of pop outs. He's got a pop out to first, infield fly, pop out to short, and a fly out to center. That one shifted out into left. Charging in is left fielder. And able to make that one there is Johnson. That'll put an end to the 8th for the Suns. A 1-2-3 inning. They go down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head through 8 full to the top of the 9th. A 3-run deficit for the Suns. The Bravehearts looking to get a few more runs in. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Check it out, it's the Terminator. Hey, when'd you get back, huh?
Did you have to shoot anyone? Why are you so distant? Are you not happy to see me?
So what's the deal? You gonna get a job now or what?
Why are you being so jumpy? Put all that stuff behind you, okay?
No one knows what it's like to come back from Iraq or Afghanistan unless they were there. Join other veterans at communityofveterans.org because we know where you're coming from. Brought to you by Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and the Ad Council.
Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association.
So here's my cell phone.
New pitcher of the ball game for the Pittsfield Suns. That is number 10, sidearmer Brody Altier. And we're going to take a peek at Altier. 6 appearances. He has a 1-1 record with a 5.68 ERA, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 6 walks to 4 strikeouts. Suns right now only relying on Altier in the top of the 9th just to hold and toe the line in a 3-run deficit. We'll be facing the middle order, Chelly, Becker, and Gardner, barring any pinch hitters.
We have gone final in Westfield. Brockton wins that one 8-6. Brockton able to diffuse the bases loaded situation in the bottom of the 10th. Westfield tacked on 2 runs before the finale there.
Bit of a nail biter, huh?
Yes, sir. But the Rocks able to strike out the last 2 batters faced.
What a changeup was that from Brody Altier. That was Ephus. That was Ephus borderline. I'll say that was Ephus.
Sorry, I missed it.
This one is chopped to second. Kalumovic will gather. Put out over to first. That will be the shortstop, Tyler Becker. He's 2 for 4 on the day with a run scored.
Well, Brody Altier is a guy we've seen, and he doesn't throw very fast. He's a guy that will throw it over the plate and let you hit it, and hopefully his defense can bail him out.
First pitch that misses for a ball, 1-0 against the lefty, Becker.
It's funny enough, I actually played fall ball with him a few years ago when I was 13, and it was quite the opposite. He had overpowering stuff at that time.
This one lifted to deep left center field. Going back is Kronk. Almost gets tangled up. Puts on the brakes. Stops on a dime, able to collect the out. That's an underrated play if I've ever seen one.
Definitely.
Just good range out there from Kronk. It's been like that all night long and all season long with his speed out there. He's really been a nice asset to this team.
So now we'll bring up Jack Gardner. He is 0 for 3 with a walk back in the second. Fly out, strikeout, and ground out in the 4th, 6th, and 8th innings. First pitch is in there, called strike, 0-1. That is also on the inside corner, called strike 2. Altier with the 0-2, slow roller as this one's lifted deep to center. Going back is Trenkel at the warning track, will make the catch. So a bit of warning track power, but it's a 1-2-3 inning. Down go the Bravehearts. And now the Pittsfield Suns, they try to get 3 runs within 3 outs. Should say 3+ runs. Bottom of the 9th. Suns try to rally. They're down 4-1 against the Worcester Bravehearts. You're listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball and the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Salagadoola, metricaboola, bibbidi bobbidi.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Many parents miss the important step of booster seats.
Maybe you better explain things to him.
Booster seats raise your child up so that a safety belt designed for adults will fit and protect them properly.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Hop in, my dear. Oh, thank you.
And like Cinderella, you can live happily ever after.
It's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
They're your friends. They're your neighbors. They're even famous entertainers. They're teachers.
Okay, class, settle down. Open your book.
They're scientists and astronauts. They're hams. They're 650,000 strong, and they're just like you. Earning your amateur radio license is easy. Just contact the American Radio Relay League at 1-800-326-3942.
Now we head to the bottom of the 9th. First baseman Matt Valenti will dig in. He is 1 for 3 on the day, but his lone single came back in the second. Here's the pitch. That one drops low for a ball. The count here is 1-0.
Well, I will say this, boys. I was thinking it a couple innings ago. The way the lineup has shaken out for the Pittsfield Suns today, we are in position to see a clutch Kyle Kronk 9th inning hit. Can't win the game on this next at-bat, but he can set the Suns up to try and score some runs.
2-0. That gets in there for a called strike. Count is 2-1. Jacob Barker out for a second inning of relief, trying to close it out with a save. Here's a 2-1. This one right back at the pitcher, drops it, grabs it with his bare hand, throw over to first, one gone.
The left fielder, number 2, Kyle Kronk.
Kyle Kronk is 3 for 3 with a double. All of them to left, including his 2 singles. This one, a hot shot going into right, and playing it off a hop will be Barry. He's going to avoid the ball going behind him.
Well, what a night for Kyle Kronk. 4 for 4, 3 singles and a double. Doesn't get much better than that, except a win.
And importantly, he gets the game into the hands of the top of the order. Statistically, some of the best hitters for the Pittsfield Suns now about to step to the plate.
Jack Cooney's 0 for 4 today. Does have a ground out, a couple of ground outs, one of them into a double play.
4 for 4 night for Kyle Kronk. Sits on first. Here's a pitch. Pitches up and away there to Jack Cooney. 1-0.
It's a guy that came into today leading his team in average.
Good lead there for Kronk as well to get in the head of the pitcher. 1-0. Check swing, but it's right across the letters for a called strike. 1-1. Should say just under the letters, that is. A ball, a strike, one man gone, one man on. Ace's wild pitch coming from Barker. That one slides in there for a called strike 2. Check on first and the 1-2. Called strike 3 at the knees. And now this will be all up to Caden Trenkle. He needs to get on base for the on-deck man. Trenkle is 1 for 3, a single in the first, RBI, a walk, bases loaded walk, and the second, ground out to the pitcher in the fourth, a strikeout in the 7th. And the pitch, swung on and missed late for strike 1.
Well, Trenkle had some heroics in him last night with a solo shot in the top of the 9th inning to send the game against the Navigators into extra innings.
Runner goes, no throw over to second. The pitch was outside as well. Suns fans trying to get behind that because of the attempt to go to second from Rice, but no one covered. That will be a stolen base. If there was no even attempt to throw and no one would cover, then we just put it down as a defensive indifference. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. This one, a hot shot off the toe of the, no, off the rubber. Goes into center field. They're going to round the runner, and here comes 1 run. And it's Caden Trenkle who comes up clutch. He plates a runner on an RBI single. And now the tying run comes to the plate, Conor Barry.
Nice piece of hitting there from Caden Trenkle. Sends it right back up the middle. Looks like you mentioned, hit the lip of the mound and got some extra roll into center field.
Big moment for Conor Barry here with a runner on first and Caden Trenkle. He's going to take a super lead over at first. And the 1-1. Rather, first pitch. In there, a called strike 0-1. Trenkle again leading off first. This one not as far, but still a good lead. The 0-1 curves outside corner. No, misses high. 1-1.
Good take by Barry. That one looked a little high. Got to take as it was close.
Chili holding the runner on. And the pitch hits the outside corner. Great pitch from Barker, just hitting the outside corner. And now the count is 1-2. Suns are down to their last strike here.
No home runs so far this season for Barry, though. Outfielders are at normal depth.
The 1-2. Did he go? He did not go. The runner advances to second on the appeal. Home plate umpire telling that the dugout needs to calm down.
Very, very close check swing there.
That'll be a defensive indifference there, moving Tranquil over to second.
I wasn't so sure about that one myself, but take it.
It's a 2-2 count with a runner on second. Suns down by 2. Here's Barker. Misses the inside corner. We'll say it's low, but very close pitches here. Worcester can't believe it. The entire dugout is standing on the lip of the dugout, up in arms, but it'll be a payoff pitch here with 2 outs. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That'll be the ball game. So in the end, it's still Worcester getting the much-needed victory against the Pittsfield Suns. When we come back, we'll have the Pittsfield Suns post-game show here on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network.
Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association. Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association.
Did you know the third leading cause of fire deaths for older adults is cooking? Hi, I'm Rob Neal from the United States Fire Administration with important fire safety tips for seniors. Never leave cooking unattended because a serious fire can start in seconds. Don't wear loose clothing while cooking. Keep towels and pot holders away from the range. Double check the kitchen before you go to bed or leave your home. This message is brought to you by the United States Fire Administration, your local fire department, and this radio station.
Welcome to the Pittsfield Suns post-game show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Now, back to Paul Dowd Field at historic Wacona Park in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, with your host, Billy Madewell, Steve O'Brien, and Colin Quinn.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pittsfield Suns post-game show on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. The Pittsfield Suns, they lose this one, being doubled up by the Worcester Bravehearts in a game where they cannot get the hitting going at the appropriate times. 2 runs, 11 hits.
Well, a few weeks ago, following the Bruins Game 7 loss to the St. Louis Blues, I read an article about Tuukka Rask, the Bruins goalie, and how none of the blame for the Bruins' ultimate failure should be placed on him, as he performed admirably during the whole postseason campaign. They always talk about how sometimes your goalie or your pitcher needs to steal a game for you. Well, in this case, the Suns' offense needed to steal a game for Alex Price. They did not show up, leaving 10 men on base before Worcester put up 2 in the 8th, ultimately putting the game out of reach. 11 hits, only 2 runs, not good enough for the Suns offense.
Yep, that's exactly it. Having 11 hits, you expect more than 2 runs on the board, and the Suns just couldn't get it going when they really needed to. And in the end, Worcester Bravehearts came out of the sun delay, and they came cracking the bats. pretty quickly, and that 8th inning was really the dagger in the hearts for the Pittsfield Suns. Just couldn't overcome it here tonight.
This is how the baseball game started with the offense. It was an RBI single by Ben Rice, the catcher. Now the Pittsfield Suns would get a run back in the bottom of the second. As Rice was in the top of the second getting that RBI single, Caden Trenkel walked in a run with the bases loaded. After that, there wasn't any scoring until the top of the 7th. Again, this was, again, regarding the sun delay, it wasn't then, but it was a big deal as the 1 run came in the 7th off a wild pitch. P.J. Barry scored on the play. And then in the top of the 8th, after a 42-minute sun delay, it was Jake Kudros who just could not recover from waiting 42 minutes and a sun delay that was called, in my opinion, way too early, about 10, 15, you can maybe even argue for 20 minutes too early. But that's neither here nor there. If someone can't see down there, they can't see. Not my discretion to call it. Even if the Pittsfield Suns won this game thanks to the sun delay, I'd still have the same opinion. But in the top of the 8th, it was a 2 RBI double by Trevor Johnson, the left fielder, who came in as a pinch hitter in the 5th for Jacob Sessa. And then the Pittsfield Suns, they got a run aboard in the 9th. And that was an RBI single by Caden Trenkel, but they just could not recover. 11 hits, 2 runs. They could not get anything going. They could not advance any sort of runners whatsoever. And as you look at the situation for runners in scoring position for the Suns, boy howdy, 2 for 12. That's an absolute abysmal number here today. Sure, the Bravehearts did go 3 for 14, but they allowed more men to get on base.
Just not good enough, really, in the end. The Pittsfield Suns leaving too many runners on base and not taking your opportunities when they were presented to you.
And moreover, against pitchers who had been kind of suspect coming into this game. It's not like, guys on Worcester's pitching staff, Adams, Chudoba, Barker, it's not like they have electric stuff. Not today, anyway. And the Suns just couldn't take advantage of it.
No, they could not. For the wins and losses here today, it is going to be Colt Chudoba, who was on the mound last when the Bravehearts then took the lead. Chudoba is going to be getting the victory here as Chudoba improves to 1-1. Getting the loss is going to be Jake Kudros. And for Kudros, his line is going to decline to 2-2 in 5 appearances. Getting the save will be Jacob Barker, as Jacob Barker did his job coming in the 8th. And now Barker is going to be set with his first save of the season. Looks like Helgath, who has 5 saves on the season, I don't believe he was eligible today. The Suns, they jumped this one by a final score of 4-2. The Pittsfield Suns player of the game, 4 for 4 performance, a stolen base, a run scored, a double. You had Kyle Kronk. He had the night going for him, and he had almost, actually, just over a third of the hits and almost half of the hits for the Suns. But it's not a one-man team. It's a 9-man team, 10 if you count the DH. The pitcher of tonight for the Suns, you look at Alex Bryce, he had a wonderful outing. He really did with a quality start performance as he had a final line of 6 total innings pitched, 26 batters faced, 1 earned run, 6 hits including a double, 2 walks excluding one intentional, through a wild pitch, 4 strikeouts. He had 97 pitches, 61 for strikes. Just, however, could not get it going collectively for the Suns. They dropped this one. Their 3-game winning streak is now a 1-game losing streak. And as we head off, again, a lot of NBA news. I'm sure all of you that are familiar with watching it are getting into. There's a lot going on, but for you two, I just want your final thoughts on tonight's contest.
Sure thing. I think a couple of bright spots for the Suns this evening. Not great necessarily. You'd like a win, but Brody Altier coming in, pitching a 1-2-3 ninth inning to keep the deficit at 3. He's a guy who has had some struggles this season, but he pitched a very effective 9th inning. Very good on you, Mr. Altier. And following the results of today's games, Pittsfield still a half game in front of the Brockton Rocks, still at first place.
How good was Kyle Kronk tonight? 4 for 4, had the double, had a run. He jumped his average from a 200 hitter to what he was coming into today. Jumped it all the way up to a 273 hitter. So well done, Kyle Kronk. Just a really, really nice outing and something that he probably needed. He's 6 for his last 8, 2 doubles, and 3 runs. So a lot to look forward to if you're Kyle Kronk and the Pittsfield Suns.
The Pittsfield Suns began this contest at 5:03. There was a 42-minute sun delay from 7:20 to 8:02, and it ended at 8:33 for a game time total of 2 hours and 47 minutes. The next time the Pittsfield Suns play, they head all the way to Brockton, Massachusetts, to Campanelli Stadium to face off against the Rocks. And then the next time the Pittsfield Suns are at home, and you'll be hearing from us then, is going to be Tuesday as the Pittsfield Suns take on the visiting Bristol Blues, who have been on quite a tear as of late. You look at how many games that they've won in the past, 8-2 in their last 10 games. That'll be a good matchup. Game time is set for 6:30 with pregame set for 6 o'clock. So the Pittsfield Suns, they now drift to 5 games over 500. And they are the last team to reach double digits in the loss column, but still a loss nonetheless. They dropped this one by a final score of 4-2. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for us. For players, coaches, umpires, and fans, alongside Steve O'Brien Jr. and Colin Quinn, my name is Billy Madewell, signing off, saying thank you for listening and watching into Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you all on Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to Pittsfield Suns Baseball on the Pittsfield Suns Baseball Network. Please join us next time for more exciting baseball action from Paul Dowd Field at historic Wacona Park. This play-by-play broadcast of Pittsfield Suns Baseball was a production of the Pittsfield Suns. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the expressed written consent of the Pittsfield Suns is strictly prohibited.